So hey guys, welcome back to the channel. This is a story about what if Naruto trains himself seriously after a wave. Part 1. If you guys enjoy this, what if? And you want to see part 2. Comment down below. And let me know before I start. Please do support for more awesome content. And leave a like and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. And also share this video with your friends. And check out the description. And check out my playlist. So let's start the video. Chapter 1 The Change. The night of the graduation. Iruka was facing down Mizuki and Naruto was next to Iruka slightly behind. "Naruto, you want to know why the village civilians hate you?" the traitor asked, making Iruka wide-eye. "You can't, Mizuki." They roared. "Naruto, you know the Kyuubi nine tails that was killed B." He was cut off by Iruka lunging forward to stop the traitor from talking further. "I guess I can't talk," since he was interrupted again from talking. Naruto was listening to every word Mizuki said, but it seemed Iruka didn't want to let Naruto know. A few months later. Konoha Gates. "Finally we're home," Naruto exclaimed. "Shut up, Naruto," Sakura said as she bonked Naruto on the head, which Naruto quickly rubbed, trying to nurse the lump on his head. "Well, since we are all home, I will have your money sent to your house tomorrow, so for a week I want you all to rest and just take it easy after this," Arankta said. The responses from his three geniuses were sure sensei from the "yes, I can finally get ramen" from his blondie and a simple grunt of acknowledgement from his raven-haired genin. Overall his team was not the best, but they made it work, especially after surviving a A-rank mission. As Kakashi Sunshine away, Naruto went on to his routine of asking Sakura on a date, which she rudely denied with an exclamation of "No, you idiot," before smacking him full strength on the ground. Naruto sulkingly got up and slowly walked off towards his home, wondering why he got no attention from Sakura or any girl for that matter, while Sasuke outright denied the girls that fawned over him. Naruto's home. As the blonde slowly walked up his stairs, he found the door to his house locked up and he knew he could easily break the lock, but he guessed it was from his landlord. He then walked towards the apartment of his landlord and knocked on it. The door opened to reveal a woman in her late 40s glaring at him. Hi miss, my room is locked and I can't open it," he asked with a smile. "Yeah, it's locked cause you forgot to even pay my rent," she roared at him fierce. Sorry ma'am, but the money is in the house. I just went on a mission with my team," he replied, frowning slightly. She tossed him the key. "Go get the cash now." He nodded and quickly went to grab the cash that he hid under his mattress. As he ran back, he handed the cash to the landlord, who quickly started counting it, making sure he didn't mess up. Naruto remembered the time he forgot to get the proper amount and his landlord kicked him out for a week, so he always brought the perfect amount. Ma'am, you don't have to count every time. I promise I would never try to trick you," he said, trying to ease the tension and make small talk. "Shut up, you filth, you're lucky that Hokage-sama forced me to give you this house or you would be living on the streets," she said. As she finished counting, she got back into her house and slammed the door in his face. He quickly ran to his house, hoping to just sleep away the sorrows of the pain. He got into bed without even changing, just got in and started to sob slightly. The sobs then turned to full-out wails. After an hour or so he went to sleep and he dozed off. 3 hours later. As the blonde groggily got up from his nap, he went to make some lunch while thinking just why everyone hated him so much, why couldn't anyone help him or care. Slowly he went back to the phenomenon he had on the wave mission when he thought Sasuke died. It felt like a super adrenaline rush. It was like he felt anger and bloodlust at everything and he wanted to just destroy it. He started to wonder why everyone hates me. He questioned himself, then remembered the ink that always appeared on his chest whenever he used a large amount of chakra. He recently learned about seals, which then turned into him learning the thing on his chest was a seal. A seal for what he did not know. He then started getting curious, and when he got curious he needed answers. Since he was a shinobi now, he could easily get to the library without the stupid librarians getting in his way. As he ate up his pork ramen, he quickly leaped out of his balcony and went straight for the Konoha library. Konoha library. Naruto was slowly getting all his books that had information on seals and anything to do with humans having seals on them. He also got any books on taijutsu and other stuff he would want. He focused on reading the items on seals and he read a lot of books from this guy called Jiraiya, but he didn't read much since he seemed they were only on how seals worked and not about what he needed. He then read a book called Jinchuriki. What are they and why be afraid? The book was a hefty one, nearly 100 pages or so, and he then started reading it. As he read it, it actually had things like seals on humans and stuff. The essential concept was that someone would seal these animals called tailed beasts into humans and would be kept in. He started reading and found out about most of the tailed beasts. There were 9 in total, ranging from power from the 1 tail to the 9 tails. Most of the tailed beasts belonged to villages, as the 1 tailed belonged to sand. 2 and 8 tails belonged to cloud. 3 and 6 belonged to mist. 4 and 5 belonged to earth, and finally 9 belonged to leaf. He read more and found that most of these were scary, and you should stay away from them and should just ignore these weapons as the book called them. Naruto felt that it was wrong to just ignore people because of what they had in them. The blonde started reading more, and as he finished the book he then started to connect the dots. Tailed beasts were called demons, a lot of civilians whispered behind his back, but just in his earshot that he was a demon. The Nine Tails was said to be the worst and was the only one said to be killed, even though the book said specifically that the tailed beast could only be sealed away. As all the dots came together the only thing that made sense was for him to be of the Nine Tails. As the idea came to him he started to cry tears of anger and anguish. He felt so angry that he was shunned and hated for something he didn't even have any consent in. Then he came to realize. Only the fourth was said to have killed the Kyuubi, so it was at reason that his hero was the one who sealed it into him. He decided he would ask his Jiji grandfather tomorrow, and for now he would take up all the information. He then borrowed the Taijutsu books and any other things on sealing he would need, then made his way home to the comfort of sleep. The next day at the Hokage tower. Naruto was now walking towards the Hokage's office. Most people would have to go through the secretary, but Naruto always visited so the secretary just let him through. He then pushed aside the doors to the Hokage's room and gazed at his grandfather. "Gigi, we need to talk," he said in the most serious tone the third had ever heard. The third then made a wave of the hand and then appeared in sunshine out of the room. "What is it, Naruto-kun?" he asked. Was all he said for the third's eyes to open as wide as saucers. The third then explained everything, and when the third meant everything he told it all from the fourth trusting Naruto to use the power of the Kyuubi for good and from how the village elders are idiotic and why they fear him. By the end of it Naruto was just trying to hold back his tears, but he could no more when Hiruzen got up and hugged the boy and whispered into his ear it's okay. The floodgates then opened and Naruto wailed while Hiruzen placed a quick silent seal on the ground. Hiruzen just hugged the boy comforting him, patting him on the back, letting him release all his emotions. After a while, the blonde started to calm down and broke off from the third. He then wiped away his tears and smiled at his Gigi. "Thanks Gigi, I understand my duty and I promise to keep the Nine Tails locked," he said as he rubbed his belly. "Naruto, are you sure I can't do anything? Anything you want?" the third asked still worried. "Yeah, I'm fine, but can you get Kakashi-sensei to meet me at training ground 7? He asked, which he got a nod. "Sure, I will tell him to come tomorrow since he is resting." Naruto nodded, then ran off. Training ground 7. Naruto was going to start his training early even if his sensei wasn't ready yet. He then started his training. He planned to do at least 1,000 kicks on the wood log with each leg and 1,000 punches on the same wood log with each arm at the same time. After the exercise on the log he would do at least 10 laps around the training ground, then after that he would just do punches. It seemed like a crazy exercise, but for someone with nearly infinite stamina it didn't seem so bad. Training ground 7 the next day 8 AM. Kakashi was now walking up to the ground he was called to by his blonde Genin Naruto. As he walked up he looked shocked as he saw Naruto on the ground passed out. He quickly rushed out to grab the blonde and checked his pulse. It seemed that the blonde was fine and passed out from exhaustion. He then looked up to the wood log and saw it had punch marks from the blonde's punches. He then looked at the blonde's arms and his knuckles which had dried out blood. The silver-haired then decided to come to a conclusion that the blonde wanted training. He then started coming up with a training regimen for Naruto. In 2 hours the blonde fluttered his eyes open and heard a lazy "Yo, you're awake" from his favorite sensei. "Hi sensei, so I guess you get what I was doing?" he said sheepishly as he rubbed his neck. "Yay, here I think fast," he said as he tossed a scroll to the blonde which was opened immediately. "Okay, so I probably wrote this cause I'm too lazy to explain it all. Shadow clones work for training since you get all their knowledge. Make 500 clones, then split them up to 10 groups. Under this is a sealing scroll that has a chakra paper and use a bit of chakra on it and we can see what chakra affinity you have. Now once you find out your affinity make 250 of them to work on your affinity by grabbing leaves and the me in the world will explain. 125 will work your Taijutsu style which I learned from my summons the Inu style. Then the rest will work on chakra control with water walking. You the original will do your normal exercises and where the weights at the end play same as the chakra paper and don't try to make anyone else do this training method since it only works for you and also you can't use clones for physical training, but muscle memory works." End of scroll. The blonde looked up at his sensei with a slightly annoyed face but then did what he was told by the scroll. In a puff of smoke 500 clones appeared and they all split up into specific groups, but 250 of them grouped up and 125 did the same while the rest just went to the other side. The blonde unsealed the chakra paper on the scroll and poured chakra into it while Kakashi stared intently on it. The paper ended up getting split into a million pieces, then got burned up, which made Kakashi wide awake. Well, it seems like you have a super strong affinity to wind and an above average affinity to fire, which is extremely rare since wind is weak to fire. He took one look at the blonde's confused face, then explained how chakra affinities work. Wow, that means I'm super awesome. He exclaimed as he fist pumped the air. Now Naruto. Just because you have two affinities that complement each other extremely well doesn't mean you're invincible. The blonde nodded, remembering how one of the strongest beings in the world was in his belly. The silver-haired tossed him a scroll written in style, which Naruto then tossed to his Taijutsu clones. Naruto, split up your elemental training clones into a 125 and make half of them do wind training by trying to split a leaf while the others try to burn a leaf. The blonde nodded and told his clones, and they all soon got to work. It was really a fantastic sight. A 125 of them were working on wind training, another 125 on fire training, the other 125 were working on the Inu style and trying to get muscle memory down, and the rest were doing water walking. The original wore his weights with "Okay, now I'll check up on you tomorrow, so bye," Kakashi said as he waved before disappearing in a shunshin. Naruto worked for nearly all of the day until it was 8 p.m. and he decided to call it a day and went home to finally rest, feeling all the pain of finding out he was gone. He wondered if he should tell Sakura and Sasuke, but figured he shouldn't since they would hate him if he did and would ruin the team dynamic even if they already hated him. Chapter 2, Team 7. Time skip 3 days. Team 7 Training Grounds. Naruto is at Team 7's training grounds as his team has to meet up today to get missions and start doing team exercises again after their week-long training has been going well. He has mastered the water walking exercise and his speed and strength have greatly increased. He also has been making great progress in splitting the leaf. For his wind, Naruto has been improving a lot. Once Naruto reached the training grounds, he saw his sensei crush and was a bit embarrassed since he was later than Kakashi, who is known for being the last one to arrive. Hey guys, sorry I was late, I don't have an excuse, I just got up late, so I'm sorry, said the blind bakir. Later than Kakashi, Sensei Sakura exclaimed, now that everyone's here, let's go train, we are gonna be doing spars first, so. Sasuke and Naruto, you two first aid Kakashi. Sasuke and Naruto got up and went into their battle. Kakashi said Hajime the battle soon, and Sasuke both dashed at each other, and surprisingly to Sakura and Sasuke, Naruto was quite a bit faster than Sasuke. Naruto then backed off and made two shadow clones, and they went in and started attacking Sasuke. And he is using his newfound knowledge on the shadow clones to gain some intel on Sasuke. Interesting thought. Team 7's easily defeated the two clones, but then felt a jab at his face and he was sent sailing through the air as Naruto's first hit him got back up and he soon dashed in towards Naruto and hit him straight in the chest, only to have Naruto disappear in a puff of smoke. Naruto appeared above of Sasuke with 4 other clones surrounding him, and soon one of the clones threw Sasuke in the air, while the 3 others jumped and punched him in the air, and once all that was done, the original hit Sasuke right in the belly with a kick and sent Sasuke down to the floor. Sasuke coughed up blood and soon activated his Sharingan and soon went straight for Naruto. This time Sasuke had a few more rounds of hitting each other. Sasuke beat Naruto, but without his Sharingan Naruto would have easily won. Serves you right, dope, you will never beat me, and I will always be better than the dead last, Sasuke said, walking away over a defeated Naruto. Naruto is actually much stronger than Sasuke, without your Sharingan you would have lost. Though Kakashi, good fight Naruto and Sasuke, you two take a break. Sakura came up to Naruto and stood in front of him. Is Sakura-chan gonna help me up? Maybe she is concerned for me. Naruto looked up and looked Sakura straight in the face. Naruto, you baka, why did you hurt Sasuke-kun? You're an idiot. Now Sasuke-kun is hurt and it's all because of you, said the pink-haired girl, then she walked away. Naruto felt his heart was the one that was laying on the ground. He was the one who lost, he was the one who cared for her, and what does he get for it? A scolding because he hurt Sasuke and almost beat him. After that they all did team exercises while Naruto did not even speak to Sakura, and once they were all done Naruto just went to his place that he was using to train, not even asking Sakura on. It was very confused and at the same time very was mad because she thought he did not think she was good anymore, and confused because he always asked her out on dates. Naruto, once he reached his training grounds in another area of Team 7's training compound, he started to work on his training. An hour later Kakashi appeared watching Naruto and saw Naruto adding clones to the wind style exercise and saw Naruto punching the wood log in front of him. Naruto, Kakashi said while Naruto turned around to look at his sensei. Naruto, I'm going to be teaching you a new fighting style. I see you only use the basic academy style. The Cyclops stated, to which the blonde nodded. Well, the academy style is fine, but I don't think it suits you, and it's also not that practical. I will be teaching you the Inu Style dog style, which is a style that quite a few Inuzukas use and I use time to time as well. Naruto, my main fighting style is the Haddock fighting style my father made me learn, but the Inu style is also very good. It focuses on punching power as its main use, as well as speed for its secondary. You can master and learn the Inu style, you will become much stronger, said Kakashi, while Naruto was eager to learn. Sensei, if this is a Inuzuka style, why do you know it? Naruto asked. Naruto, it is not a Inuzuka style, it is one of the many styles that you can learn from summons. My summons made me learn it as my summons are dogs. Said Kakashi. Okay, well, let's get started, Genin stated. After a few hours, Kakashi taught Naruto the Inu style, and Naruto was now sparring against Kakashi to practice. Naruto, let's stop. No, Kakashi stated. Why, sensei? Naruto then pointed to the sky where there was a bird. Kakashi got the message from the bird, and it stated that he and Naruto go to the Hokage tower, which is what they did. Hokage tower. Naruto and Kakashi made their way to the Hokage tower, but not before helping themselves to ramen at Ichiraku's after the long day of training. So old man, what did you want us for? Asked Naruto. Kakashi, do you think Naruto is ready for these two? Asked the Hokage, while handing a scroll to read over the scroll, and then nodded and handed the scroll back to the Hokage. Naruto, it seems your sensei deems you worthy of learning the Shadow Shuriken Jutsu, as well as the Shunshin, said Hiruzen to a wide-eyed, then handed Naruto the scroll, and Naruto eagerly opened it to check if he was really gonna learn amazingly cool. The Naruto, learning new was new did not make you powerful, but still learning new is awesome. Thank you, old man, I promise I won't let you down, the blind said with a big grin on his face. Yes Naruto, now why don't you go get rest, your team is gonna be going on a mission tomorrow, it's a C-ranked mission, so get your rest. Naruto nodded at Sarutobi's words and soon left to go to his house to rest. Kakashi chuckled. What's so funny, Kakashi asked the old man. Oh, it's just that only until a week ago he had been begging me for and know that he gets he is grateful, but just goes home to rest. I thought he would be going back to train, but I guess he has matured a bit, said the Cyclops. Indeed he has matured, let's see the results of his training on your C-ranked, by the way it's a joint operation with Team 10, said Hiruzen, while Kakashi soon left and was on his way to pack up for tomorrow. Team 7 training grounds. All of Team 7 waiting there was just brooding. Sakura was just watching Sasuke, while Naruto was trying to learn how to figure out which of the new to learn first, and he decided on the Shunshin, since it has more uses in and out of battle. After a while Kakashi appeared and debriefed them on the mission they were was a simple protection of a high-ranking council member of the Sand that came to discuss the details of the upcoming Chunin, and Sakura went home to pack up while Naruto was still focusing on his Shunshin. Kakashi smiled proudly at his blonde hair and reminded him a lot of Obito, and he was also happy that his student was taking training seriously. The gates of Konoha. Once Team 7 regathered they headed to the gates of Konoha, however they got surprised when they saw Team 10 waiting there. Hey Ino pig, what are you doing here? Asked Sakura. We are supposed to join in this joint operation to escort the Sand guy's forehead, said Ino. Now now girls calm down, since we are all here, let's get moving, said Kakashi. Hey Shikamaru. Are they always like that? Asked Naruto. You replied the lazy genin. Soon Team 7 and Team 10 were on their way to the hidden sand village. It was going to take them around 4 to 5 days to get there. Road to sand. Time skipped 2 days. The trip so far was nothing, but now they passed the land of fire's borders and we're going into the land of winds, told his team what to do once they got to the sand village and to show respect to the shinobi there. While the team took breaks, Naruto was usually practicing Shunshin, and he was almost done. He just had to lower the chakra cost, and he would be fine, and saw Naruto training, and did not think much about it, he just thought Naruto was messing around. So forehead, why did Naruto stop adding Chan to your name? Ino was surprised at what Ino asked. Everyone was surprised Naruto stopped calling here Chan, but many did not. Ino was asking the question they all did not ask. Oh nothing, I just told him one day I did not like him after he and Sasuke sparred and he stopped asking me. To be honest, I'm glad he stopped asking, now I don't have to waste my time with his pointless comments. Said Sakura. Soon after that they got moving. Little did the teams know they were being tracked by a hunter nin after Asuma's hunter nin wanted Asuma's bounty, but he could not take Asuma and Kakashi of the Sharingan at the same. He was devising a plan to separate the two of them and was going to put it into action today. Team 7 and Team 10 were still escorting the Sand Council. They were glad that the council member used to be a shinobi, since they would not have to walk at civilians. 3 kunai came at them, Kakashi swiftly blocked it, but then an enemy ninja came out with 2 clones. One of the clones took on all the genin, while the other took on quickly was getting the upper hand on the clone, but when he heard the sizzling sound of the paper bomb he quickly jumped away and the clone Asuma did not escape free. He ended up getting a few bruises on his arm and his left leg was burned slightly. Team 7 and Team 10 were dealing with the clone rather quickly. Shikamaru did shadow possession and Naruto then tied the clone, Shikamaru released him, and Naruto ended the clone. Kakashi was having a slight hard time, but he would no doubt win since he had not used his Sharingan and still had the enemy hunter Nin knew this and he soon went after one of the genin, for quickly jumped away from Kakashi went after the genin and quickly took hold of Sakura and was holding her by the throat. The two members of Team 7 and Team 10 just stood there not sure what to do so they waited until their senseis and Asuma quickly arrived and were shocked to see that the enemy Nin got a hostage. Alright, I'll let this girl leave if Asuma ties himself up and you give him to me. Say the enemy Nin, I'll take the girl and Asuma 500 meters that way and once I'm there I'll leave the girl. Sounds fair, asked the Nin. Naruto, make 4 clones and don't let him know you made them, said Kakashi and Naruto. The teams made their plan and once they did Naruto disappeared in a Shunshin enemy. Nin was close to cutting Sakura's throat until 4 kunai came flying in from all directions and he had to dodge it and left Sakura free. Naruto then grabbed her and Shunshin back to his and Kakashi, then quickly beat the enemy Nin, and they swiftly captured him and soon left him tied up. It seems the leaf has some good ninja, stated the Sand Councilman. Yes, the will of fire is strong with this generation, replied Kakashi. Team 10 and the members of Team 7 were shocked at how Naruto pretty much saved Sakura from that hunter Nin earlier and how easily he did it. When and where did you learn that teleportation, thought Sasuke, and was leaking killing intent, and the blonde did not even notice it and just kept heading towards Sand. The gates of Sand. Time skip 3 days. Team 7 and 10 were arriving at the gates of the Sand, were glad they got to take a break, but some were just happy they could rest for a day, or soon told his team and Asuma's team to go to the hotel and rest up. He and Asuma were going to report into the Kazekage. Once the teams reached the hotel, the boys got one room while the girls took. The boys were a little mad since they had to have 4 people in one room while the girls only had 2, but Naruto did not get them all settled in, so they decided to call it a night. The next day. Naruto was the first to wake up besides getting dressed up and ready cause he was going to ask Kakashi if there was anywhere he could train his Shadow Shuriken Jutsu. Kakashi-sensei, is there any place I can train myself, asked the blonde. Yes, there is a place, take the slip and follow the directions and you will go to a training ground. You can train to your heart's content there but don't overexert yourself, the masked man replied while handing Naruto a slip. Soon left the hotel and went straight to the training ground. The training ground. Naruto was soon arriving. The training he arrived, he stopped and saw a lone girl wearing a sand, had the most beautiful hair color he ever saw, with a dark and creamy face, was white, but not too white to the point where it was. As he was growing up, he realized he was more of an ass and leg man, and this girl's legs were one of the most toned legs he had ever seen. He soon realized what he was doing, and he was staring. No, I am not a pervert, Naruto thought. Too soon got out of his stupor and made his way to the field to introduce himself. Chapter 3: The Fox and the Tanuki. Naruto was walking up to the girl he saw at the training ground. Hey, Naruto shouted loudly. The girl was startled by the loud voice and turned around to see a short blonde boy in orange. Kid, you better have a good reason to disturb me. Well, I'm training, she said in a mad tone. Well, my sensei told me to come here if I wanted to train, and sorry if I disturbed you, Naruto apologized. What's your name? Kid, mine's Temari, Temari said in calm voice. Well, my name's Naruto Uzumaki, Naruto said with a big grin on his face. This kid's like the complete opposite of Gaara, he is so happy and cheerful. Temari thought, well, if there's nothing else you want, I'm going back to training. Actually, could we spar? The only people I get to spar against are my teammate and my sensei. It would be nice if I could spar against you, Naruto asked, hoping she would accept. What is his game? He doesn't seem to do anything bad, she thought, trying to figure the blonde out. Sure kid, I'll accept. I haven't sparred with anyone in a while, so I can always use the workout, said in a more serious way. Blinds got into their fighting stances. Once the fight got started, Naruto dashed at Temari while she backed, created 3 clones and sent them all after, just swung her fan at the clones and got rid of them, did not notice that Naruto was closing the distance between them, and Naruto uppercut her and kicked her, making her sail through the air. Temari got back up and tried to think of a plan on how to beat, was much faster than she was and had quite a bit of strength, and his was at a clear disadvantage, and she was annoyed that a kid probably around the same age as Gaara was matching her blow for blow and some. Naruto was processing her skills in his mind like Kakashi taught him and knew Naruto rushed in a lot, and Kakashi started to do patience training where Kakashi would put a bowl of ramen in front of Naruto and if he tried to eat it, he would be smacked by Kakashi. Temari made the first move. She dashed forward towards Naruto with her pulled out kunai and tried to block the fan, but her fan was made of a much more sturdier material than the got a clean hit on Naruto. Then she started to make hand signs. Wind style Gale Temari called out as wind shot at Naruto and he lost his footing and fell to the ground. Naruto tried to get up, but then he felt the cold steel of Temari's fan on his throat. It seems you lose, Temari said as she took her fan away from his throat. Yeah, by the way, are you a wind style user? Naruto asked, hoping to get some tips on how to master wind style. Yes, a wind style user, what does that matter to you? The Sand Genin asked confused. Well, a wind style user as well, I'm trying to learn. Wind style, right? No, Naruto said. I've done the leaf exercise, but I can't do the rock exercise. Naruto said with a bit of disappointment in his voice. Grab a rock and show me what you've got, I'll try and help since you did relieve me of boredom while training, Temari said. Naruto soon grabbed a rock and did his best to split it, but he only got a small dent in it. That's the best I can do, I've been having trouble getting past this point. Naruto sighed at what she saw. This kid probably thinks wind is like a sword or something like that, Temari thought to herself. Kid, I'm sure you think wind is like grinding a sword or something, but that's only half of is everywhere you need to think of it, as more than that wind is a lot calmer as well than being sharp. Temari was about to continue until Gaara appeared next to her. Baki wants to meet all of us for our next mission, Gaara said to his sister in a calm voice, yet it had that sharp killer edge to it. Naruto and Gaara then locked eyes in just to the two of them. It felt like both saw the loneliness in each other for a while. It was just an awkward silence until surprisingly Gaara broke it. What is your name? Gaara asked Naruto. My name is Naruto Uzumaki, and yours is? Naruto asked calmly, but felt a sense of uneasiness around Gaara. My name is Sabaku Gaara Uzumaki. Naruto, mother wants your blood, she says we are a lot alike, Gaara said. Who is mother and why does she want me dead? Naruto said with an angry look on his face. Temari at this point wanted to leave as things were getting tense. Gaara, let's leave, Baki sensei asked for us, Temari said, trying to get Gaara away. Yes, let's go, Gaara said, still staring at then appeared wondering what took Gaara so long. Hey guys, what's taking so long? Asked Kankuro. We are coming, just wait, Temari said, while walking towards him. Bye Temari-chan, I hope we meet again. Naruto said in a cheerful was blushing and one dared to call her Chan, yet this hidden leaf genin had the audacity to. So Temari-chan, Kankuro said with a slight perverse, then ended up beating Kankuro, while Gaara just went to Baki. Weird people, what did that Gaara guy mean by we are the same? I saw his eyes though, he feels a lot of pain and anger. I hope I can become his friend or something. Naruto thought sadly at how much pain Gaara was in. Naruto soon went to training and got to work. The hotel. Everyone woke up at 8 am and everyone was dressed. By two teams were going to leave at 11 am, so that left everyone some time to went off to do his own thing. Ino and Sakura went to go buy clothes while Choji and Shikamaru just went to the roof of the hotel to watch clouds. Shikamaru, Choji said in a serious tone. Yay, what's up Choji? Shikamaru replied, still watching the clouds. Did you see how Naruto dispatched that ninja earlier and saved Sakura? Said the Akamichi. Yeah, he is definitely not the dead last anymore. I wonder what training he did, said Nara. I asked Asuma sensei, he said that Naruto has been training every day for the past 2 weeks non-stop and he has been getting help from Kakashi sensei. Do you think we should start training more? Choji asked as he was not sure what they should do. Choji, I heard from my dad, the exams are coming up, many people die in these exams. I don't want to lose anyone I care about, so if you want to train I'll train with you and we will both get stronger together, said the normally lazy boy in a more serious tone. Thanks Shikamaru, Choji said, grateful for what Shikamaru was doing for him. Choji, no need to thank me, we are in this together, but I highly doubt Ino will want to do any training. They both chuckled at Shikamaru's last statement and soon went back to relaxing. After a few hours, Team 7 and Team 10 were gathered up with their sensei and were heading for the gates of they were heading out. Naruto saw the same girl he saw from the training ground. As everyone was filling up the documents to leave the village, he walked up to Temari. Hey Temari-chan, Naruto shouted as he walked towards the now angry girl. Hey kid, stop calling me Chan, I don't like it, she said in an annoyed voice. Nah, just call you Temari-chan, Naruto said as he chuckled at the faces she was making at him. I'm leaving the village so I guess we won't see each other again. Naruto said sadly. Naruto, we will meet each other again, cause I am going to be coming to the leaf for the exams, so you better get stronger. She said while she walked off with her team away. Naruto felt really happy that she encouraged him to get stronger and saw that she called him. Did not know why he was so happy, but he just who was watching the scene was grinning perversely at the interaction. Maybe he is growing up physically and emotionally, Kakashi thought after everyone did all their forms were heading back to however, did buy a few sealing scrolls that were in sand as he wanted to improve his. He saw how easily Kakashi and Asuma kept their tools in sealing scrolls and wanted to learn how to use them too. Konoha Gates. 3-day time skip. Along the way home, Naruto was still doing the rock exercise for his wind style and he followed Temari's advice and he actually made a bigger dent in the rock. He almost completed the Shadow Shuriken. Did ask Kakashi if anyone ever used the Shunshin in battle, as he felt it could be used in, said there was one person who used Shunshin in battle, and his name was Shisui. Called him Shisui the teleporter because of his prowess in using the Shunshin, but he was only so good because of his Sharingan. Naruto thought about making the Shunshin battle usable and was now trying to perfect the Shunshin for battle and was nearly ready to learn Wind style. Everything was going fine for the blind. Once Team 7 and Team 10 got to the gates of Konoha, their senseis let them go home and rest. Naruto soon went to Ichiraku's to get ramen and he brought Shikamaru and Choji with him. Ichiraku's. Naruto, Choji and Shikamaru were eating their ramen happily and nice and comfortable. Broke that silence. Naruto, how did you get so strong so fast? Shikamaru asked politely. Well, I just found a purpose to get stronger. When I first became a ninja, I only wanted to get stronger to become Hokage. Now I am getting stronger to protect those I care about, such as all my friends. During my mission in Wave, Sasuke got hurt and it was I was stronger. I could probably have protected him. Sakura got mad at me and I decided to get stronger so I would never let something like that happen again. Naruto said with a fire in his eyes. That's a great story, Naruto. I think I'll try and find something to get stronger for too, said Choji with the same fire in his eyes as Naruto. Thanks for the advice, Naruto, and could you help us with training sometime? Asked. Was very surprised as Shikamaru was actually taking initiative to train. Sure, you guys are welcome anytime at Team 7 training grounds. Come there anytime or at my house if you wanna train. The blonde said happily that his friends wanted to spend time with him. Well, I'ma leave, I have to go rest up, then train. The exams are coming and I want to impress all the people who said I suck and show them they were wrong. Naruto said, leaving some cash on the bar. He has changed a lot, hasn't he? Choji asked. Nara. He sure has replied. Naruto's home. Once Naruto got home, he opened the scrolls he got from Sand and started practicing. He spent 2 hours doing this until he realized he had to get better handwriting, so then he spent 2 more hours practicing his handwriting. After a while Naruto got sleepy and soon called it a day. He was very happy that he had more people who cared for him like Shikamaru, Choji and that Temari girl. Chapter 4, Jailer and Prisoner. Hokage Tower. 5-day time skip. Kakashi, why have you come here? Asked Hiruzen with a confused expression on his face. Hokage-sama, Naruto's training has made him stronger at an absurd rate. He has been training with Shikamaru and Choji and sparring with them. He has made the Shunshin usable in battle against high genin to low level mastered. The Shadow Shuriken has started to perfect his Wind style that he has learned and is now on the second step of Fire style training. Kakashi said with a disappointed look on his face that the Hokage did not miss. That is great, so why do you look so upset? Kakashi the Hokage asked with worry. Well, Hokage-sama, Naruto has grown more distant from his team as his training progressed. He doesn't talk to them as much. His crush on Sakura is gone and he rarely talks on missions to them unless necessary. He said sadly. The other thing is that Sasuke has gotten a lot more agitated at Naruto because he feels that Naruto thinks he is much better than very proud of Naruto's progress, but the problem is that he is growing more distant and the team is falling apart. Naruto was the heart that brought the team together and if the heart falls everything falls, Kakashi said with a hint of worry in his voice. Kakashi, none of this is your fault, do not blame yourself, but I will want to have Naruto meet me after team practice today. Tsurutobi said, still processing all the information. Team 7 training grounds. Sasuke, haven't you noticed things have been different with Naruto? Sakura asked her brooding teammate. Like, I care about him, Sasuke said in a hurtful tone. Naruto was still training, all he did now was train, eat, sleep, and sometimes hang out with Shikamaru, and friendship with them has risen a lot, and all 3 of them have gotten much, even got Asuma to help Naruto with his Wind style. Alright, it seems you're all here now. Today we're going to be doing spars since we haven't done that in a while. Said smirked at the 5 days after the Sand mission. Sasuke has wanted nothing but to spar against Naruto. He has seen all the training Naruto has done and he wants to prove that he is stronger than Naruto. Has refused all requests Sasuke has made because he says he doesn't have time to fight him and he needs to get stronger to protect those precious to him. Kakashi knew one of the reasons Naruto grew distant is because he realized that Sakura and Sasuke never cared for, then disregarded them as not precious, and has a list of his precious people, including Shikamaru, Choji, Asuma the third, Kakashi, Iruka, Am and Tuchi, as well as Anko. Surprisingly, after Naruto graduated from the academy, Iruka felt more relaxed knowing that Kakashi would soon meet Anko and they hit it off and now are dating, and Anko has a lot of similarities and they usually have a lot of fun with each other. Anko also started teaching Naruto how to evade and dodge kunai, and Naruto has been dodging kunai and shuriken a lot easier, also bought Naruto new clothes and saying that his old clothes were too bright and pretty much made him a beacon for everyone to target. He now wore a black t-shirt with small orange stripes on the sleeves, with the Uzumaki symbol on his back. He now had gloves that made it easier for him to throw kunai as there was more friction, and his pants were a dark maroon that showed off his leg muscles quite nicely. Overall Naruto was around mid-level and was progressing fast. The first spar will be Naruto and Sakura. He got into his stance for the Inu style that he had grown a liking to and changed it a tad bit to suit him, was still going with the basic academy style, and it already showed Naruto as a better ninja. Once Kakashi signaled the fight to start, Naruto immediately used Shunshin to appear in front of her and put a kunai to her neck before she could even move. Yield was all that Naruto said in a calm voice. It surrender, Sakura said, shocked at how fast she was defeated. I knew he was strong, but he beat me in a matter of seconds. How strong are you? Naruto thought the pink-haired girl. Well, that was quick. Sasuke, you're up next, said Done. I've wanted this for a week now and I'm going to get it. Sasuke said, happy that he got his chance to beat Naruto. Yeah, Kakashi sensei just started the match on the blind side. The Jimisade tried the same move that he used on Sakura, but it was not. It was sad that he couldn't finish throwing two kunai at Naruto, which Naruto easily evaded and threw his own pair and then started doing hand signs. Wind style Gale Palm Blind exclaimed as the kunai that were heading towards Sasuke sped up and cut the Uchiha in each of his arms and grabbed his shoulders in pain at the blood that was coming out. Naruto then grabbed Sasuke by the neck and threw him away. You say that you're the best because you know what I think you're an idiot. I've seen how you only train for 2 hours a day and all you do is try to make your fire style stronger. You think you're great when you face the fact that you're not and Choji are stronger than you for sure, cause at least they can make use of some effort. I just used 2 and some simple taijutsu and now I would rate you mid-genin. The blonde said in a mean tone. Sasuke glared at Naruto for the words he was speaking. I am an Uchiha, I am great, the great Uchiha thought. Shut up, you know nothing, Sasuke said while making hand seals. Fire style fireball jutsu, Sasuke exclaimed and sent a fireball straight at Naruto. Naruto started to make his own hand seals. Fire style fireball jutsu, Naruto said calmly while making a fireball nearly double the size of Sasuke's. Kakashi had to step in to get Sasuke out of the way of the fireball as it was clear that Sasuke had lost. Naruto, why did you try to hurt your friend? Kakashi stated in a loud voice. Kakashi sensei, I did nothing of what I did was self-attack me first with a dangerous meant to hurt me, all I did was defend myself, Naruto stated while smirking. Kakashi knew Naruto could have just Shunshin away, but he didn't and Kakashi did not know why. Why is Naruto doing this? The silver-haired man thought. Sakura takes Sasuke to the hospital and makes sure he gets treatment. Kakashi left, but not before she glared at Naruto with piercing cold eyes. I can't believe I had a crush on her, the blind thought. Naruto, we need to talk, Kakashi stated. Sure, go on sensei, Naruto stated calmly. You have been growing a lot distant these few days and that last stunt was, and I both know you could have easily dodged that, but you wanted to show Sasuke your prowess. Kakashi stated furiously. Sensei, I'm sorry, Naruto stated while looking down, which shocked Kakashi a lot. What do you mean? The masked man asked confused. I know I did something wrong, it's just that Sasuke always calls me mean names and I've been trying to let that not get to me, but I just wanted to be mean to him once. I am sorry and I know that I've been not talking to Sakura and Sasuke a lot, but that's because there's nothing to talk about. It's blatantly obvious they don't want to talk to me, so I did what I should have done a while ago. I stopped talking, Naruto stated. Kakashi sensei, I have a confession to make. The blind started with a little worry. What is, Naruto? I'm sure it can't be as crazy as anything else you've said. Well, you see, once we came back to Konoha I did some research on Jinchuriki and tailed beasts. I found out there are 9 of them and that Jinchuriki can talk to their tailed beasts. The genin stated, still with a hint of worry in his voice. Kakashi's mind was running 100 miles a second trying to avoid the most obvious thing Naruto was saying as he did not want to believe he did that. So I read that you have to meditate and enter your mind to do that and I did it, the blind stated in a more serious tone. You did what? Kakashi asked in disbelief if his student would do something so reckless. I met the fox and talked to him, Naruto stated. Flashback 2 days ago. Alright, all I have to do is calm myself and enter my minds, Naruto thought. After a few minutes Naruto opened his eyes and he was in a sewer that very soon started to follow a path and it led him to a big thought that it was nothing and was about to walk away, then he saw an eye open. So you have come to meet me. The stated. You're the Naruto said in disbelief that he actually was meeting the Kyuubi face to face. Yes, now what do you want? The Asked, the Kyuubi knows most of what Naruto thinks, so he knows Naruto is here to ask a question. Well, if you don't mind answering, there are 9 tailed beasts, correct? Naruto asked, still a little shaken. Yes, that is correct. Well, I know 3 of Kyuubi Hachibi and I want to ask you, is that the red-head boy I saw in the hidden sand the Ichibi Jinchuriki? You are a lot smarter than you let on, boy, and yes, he is the jailer for the Ichibi. Okay, well, now that's out of the way I have one more final question. Do you have a name? Why do you ask this? They were shocked that someone actually cared for his name. Well, it's just that the Ichibi has a name and it's called Shukaku, so I wondered if all of the tailed beasts have names. Well, yes, you are correct, all tailed beasts have names, and I will enlighten you. My name is Kurama. Kurama stated happily that someone actually cared for him all his life. No one had ever asked if he had a name, and he never told anyone his name. Ninja, I will teach you a fire style of mine that only I is called fire style Flash Fox. Really, you're gonna teach me? You know you're a lot nicer than many people think you are. Naruto said with a big grin on his face. You are different from everyone else I have met in this world, so yes, I will teach you it, and if I would classify it in your ninja ranking system, I would say it's an A bordering S rank jutsu, Kurama stated, which made Naruto's eye widen in happiness. Kurama, I have one last question. Why did you attack the hidden leaf 13 years ago? Naruto asked. I did not, it was merely me defending myself. I had just escaped. My last true means that I won't tell you right now, but if I trust you I will. I escaped and all you leaf shinobi attacked me, so what was I supposed to do to take all that damage and not get angry? Kurama stated and was thinking that Naruto was gonna say he was a demon. Okay, well that makes sense, the blind said with a calm face that shocked Kurama. Ninja, I know who are your parents. If you want me to I can tell you who they are. Kurama told him, which made Naruto's eyes widen. Kurama, thanks for the offer, but the old man wanted to tell me himself, so I will respect his wishes and wait for him to tell me. Okay, well if you change your mind I will always tell you to go back to the real world and continue your training. I can only teach you this once you have learned fire style. Naruto nodded at Kurama's words and soon left the plane. This container might not be so bad after all. Kurama thought about going back to sleep. Back to the present. So yay, that's pretty much all that happened. Nothing else interesting happened. I just visited him yesterday to keep him company, Naruto said to Kakashi after telling his story of meeting the most demonic creature in the world. Naruto, next time you do something reckless like that I will punish you. You're lucky nothing bad happened. I didn't know the Kyuubi was actually sort of nice, Kakashi said, still with a shocked look on his face from hearing Naruto's story. Yay, and I promise to keep the team together as the heart of the team, sensei, the blind stated while walking towards his meet-up place where he Shikamaru and meet up, leaving Kakashi shocked to learn that Naruto knew he was the heart. Hokage Tower. Kakashi, I cannot believe such a story. Here is in all his life he always thought he was an evil being, but now he was being told that he was actually kind to Naruto. How does Naruto do these things? Kakashi Sarutobi said. I don't know, Hokage-sama, I just don't know. Kakashi said while shaking his head. Well, for no, I guess Team 7 is ready for the exams that are taking place in 4 days. The Hokage said, get your team ready for it. Okay, Hiruzen said in a more orderly tone of voice. Hai, Hokage-sama, Kakashi said as he left using a shunshin. Chapter 5, prepare for the Genin exams. Today time skip. Naruto's training ground. Naruto, Shikamaru and Choji were all getting ready for the exams that they heard were hopeful that he might take another step to becoming Hokage. Shikamaru didn't care either way, but Choji surprisingly wanted to become a Chunin so that he would prove his clan was a strong one and that he was prepared to become the clan head. At the moment Shikamaru was playing shogi with Naruto to help improve his mind and his strategizing 7 had no one that could make a plan, so Naruto decided to ask Nara for help since he heard from Asuma that the Genin had an IQ of 200. Choji was learning how to do earth style as he learned that was his affinity and was slowly learning how to progress with were all mostly level. While Naruto was trying his hardest to beat Shikamaru, he smelled a familiar scent that he hated. Sasuke came out, the blonde stated simply. Sasuke came out of the woods with an annoyed look that Naruto found him so easily. How the hell did you find me so easily? Sasuke shouted. I trained with Kakashi sensei to enhance my smelling ability. He said that if I didn't have my eyes I needed to have another sense to rely on, and I chose smell. Can you go away, Sasuke? I'm trying to make a crack in the earth where you're standing. Akimichi said, a little frustrated that he couldn't train properly. Naruto, fight me, Sasuke said while charging towards said blonde. Sasuke fell right in his tracks when Choji pulled him by the ankles. Sasuke, I will say it one more time, go away, the chubby Genin said as he threw Sasuke aside like he was nothing. How have the dead lasts gotten so strong? Sasuke thought at seeing how easily Choji beat him. Naruto, that Uchiha is going to be a problem in the exams for you if he doesn't calm down, the tailed beast said in Naruto's mind. Yes, I know, I'll tell Kakashi sensei after our training session today, Naruto replied. The fox and Naruto's relationship had grown and they had started going on a first name basis. Sasuke, I'm sorry if you're mad that we are stronger than you, but there's nothing we can do when you're so weak, Naruto said with a smirk appearing on his face. Sasuke growled at the three and soon started leaving to find Kakashi and train. Naruto, I feel sad for you. You have to deal with an annoying fangirl who never takes your side and always sides with that brooding bastard, even when he is wrong, Choji said with a sad tone. It's fine, I've tried to talk to them and become friends again, but all my efforts were nothing. It seems that me training to get stronger so that they like me only had the opposite effect. No matter, let's get back to training guys, then we can go eat, Ichirikis Genin said with a smile at the last statement he made. Somewhere in Konoha. Kakashi Sasuke shouted as he jumped to his sensei. Sasuke, what is it, and don't shout so loudly in a public area. Kakashi said in a lazy tone, not wanting to deal with Sasuke's problems at the moment. Train me, make me dope, and his loser friends have somehow gotten stronger than me. I need that power. Sasuke said with an evil undertone to his voice. Sasuke came with me, the masked man stated simply while walking towards a more private location. Team 7 training grounds. Sasuke in a soft voice, Kakashi said. Do you want to know how those three you call losers got so strong? The reply Kakashi got was a nod. Through sheer training and hard work, as well as determination to protect those they love. He said. They didn't use any tricks, they did not learn anything great, they just worked hard and trained every day, and I don't see that same determination in you wanting me to train you to be determined to protect something, she said while walking away. Sasuke was infuriated that his sensei did not want to protect anyone. He needed power to need. Uchiha got so mad that he charged at Kakashi with a kunai in hand. Kakashi was easily disabled Sasuke's attack and held the Uchiha's hand behind his back. Sasuke, if you want training that walks on water. He said, well tired of these antics of Sasuke. Kakashi then showed Sasuke how to walk on water and Sasuke then tried to do it and fell into and had to bite his lip to suppress the laughter he had. Kakashi left disappointed at the evil that Sasuke was becoming, and if no one stopped him, he was going to go on a bed and tried to listen to his sensei and communicate with his replies, but in an angry tone and with a glare so cold it could kill. Sasuke however never replied, only talking when on a mission or absolutely necessary. Next day near Ichiraku's. Naruto was leaving Ichiraku's to meet up with Konohamaru and his friends Mogi and Yuden that he had heard promised the kid that he would come early, and now here he was wasting too much time eating ramen and coming late by 10 minutes. When Naruto was nearing the meeting place he heard a shout saying let go. And he could almost identify it as Konohamaru swiftly arrived quickly and saw Kankuro grabbing Konohamaru by the neck. Hey sand guy, let him go, Naruto stated in a cold voice. Yeah Kankuro, let the kid go, he just bumped into you. Temari let the kid go and soon started walking away while Temari stayed for a few minutes. Hey, so you're here for the exams, huh? Temari-chan, Naruto said, happy that he was seeing his friend again. Yeah I guess, and please stop calling me that, Naruto. The Kunoichi stated annoyed. Temari-chan, can I ask you something? Naruto asked, a little nervous at what he was going to say, which did not go unnoticed by Temari. Would you like to go sightseeing in Konoha with me? The blonde said, stuttering, shocked no one ever asked her to go with her. Is he asking me out on a date? The Sand Genin thought, still shocked at what she was being asked. Is it a date? Temari asked. It can be if why you want. I wouldn't want it to be a date as this was the third time we have seen each other, but I would love to go out with you. Come here at 6 p.m. and I will show you the best sights in Konoha, Naruto said, a little disappointed but still happy. She didn't know why he liked Temari so much as they only just met, but he just wanted to spend time with her. I'm sorry Naruto for what's going to happen, the girl thought sadly. I hope I can spend as much time as I can with you happily before that. Boss, was that your girlfriend? Konohamaru asked, seeing the whole scene. No, she isn't, Naruto said, blushing at what Konohamaru was suggesting. Konohamaru, do you and your friends mind if before we play ninja, we go to a shop? Asked the blonde, to which Konohamaru shook his head. Naruto then took the Konohamaru core shopping with him as he wanted to get some good civilian clothes for when he met had a few different types of clothes but none were really for occasions, like got a purple top that had blue flames on the sleeves and some pants that were light green with black stripes on the, also bought some other pairs of shirts but he knew these were what he was going to wear for tonight. While he was leaving with his friends, Ino saw him leaving and was shocked as she had never seen a Naruto shop before. What did Naruto buy? More importantly, why did he buy it? The purple dressed girl thought, seeing Naruto leave. For a while he just played with Konohamaru, Mogi and Yuden until when he was done playing with his friends, he soon left straight for his house, dashing in a speed he didn't know he had. Once he reached home he immediately took a shower and before he did made clones to clean up his apartment and put away his clothes as well as other houses. It took him 30 minutes in total to get ready for his meeting with Temari and he was nervous. He had never been this nervous in years. The only time he could remember being this nervous was when he asked Sakura the first time ever for a date, to which she only had one thing on his mind. How to impress Temari so she would go out with him again. He had already planned where he would take her, so that wasn't a problem. The fact he had never been out with a girl, didn't know how to treat a girl or how to act like a gentleman. He then knew the perfect person to ask for advice. In 15 minutes he was at Iruka's house, invited himself in and told Iruka the entire situation and how he needed help. Naruto, you seriously haven't been out with a girl before, Iruka said, still shocked that a 13-year-old boy had never been out with a girl before. Yeah, and I'm pretty damn nervous, so I would really appreciate some help, the blind said in a stressed out voice while pacing around the room he was in. Firstly, calm down, Naruto. I'll tell you how to act polite with this girl, Iruka started. For 10 minutes Iruka just taught Naruto all he could about being polite, and that Naruto just went straight to where he and Temari were meeting each other. Naruto arrived 2 minutes before 6 and was now waiting for his date, still quite arrived wearing a light blue kimono with a slight tint of yellow, with her obi being yellow. Naruto probably skipped a heartbeat at how beautiful he thought she looked. Did I keep you waiting? Temari said, blushing slightly at how Naruto was staring. Naruto was broken out of his stupor and was embarrassed at what he was doing. No, I just arrived like 3 or so minutes ago. Blonde said with a grin. So do you want to go eat first or go straight to sightseeing, the boy asked. Let's go eat. Temari said. Okay, follow me, Temari-chan. Naruto soon grabbed Temari's hand and started to walk towards where the restaurant was. While they were walking, Temari saw the glares and looks of confusion that the villagers were giving her and Naruto, but mostly towards the boy. Is this what Gaara meant by both of them being the same? The Kunoichi thought of trying to piece the puzzle. Temari-chan was the blind side, knocking Temari out of her thoughts for the time being. Naruto soon let her hand go, and they walked in. S face lit up a slight tint of red as she forgot that she was holding hands with him. Could we please have a table for 2? Naruto asked the waiter with a slight worry they were going to kick him out. The waiter looked at him with glaring eyes, but he knew that the boy was welcome here as the owner of the store was a friend of Iruka. Took the 2 blondes to their table, and the blondes made orders. Naruto ordered a burger with chips that he and his friend could, however, ordered a chocolate cake which was her favorite dish in the whole world. Temari-chan, are you sure about a chocolate cake? It is quite unhealthy, just saying. Naruto said as he saw that she was eating multiple slices of the cake, all by herself. It's fine, I rarely eat it, so I don't think it will cause that many problems, Naruto said, still eating. Soon they both finished their meals and Naruto paid for the didn't know how much the cake cost, and it pretty much made his gamma empty. Gamma is his wallet. Naruto then took her hand and they started to go. The first place they went was a small pond near a park that had many colorful fish from red to blue. Temari had a fun time with the fish, as in the desert, you don't get to see many were happy that she was having fun, since he was worried she might not be happy, but all worries washed away as he saw the face Temari had. Naruto then took her to 2 more sites, being the academy, and some of the training. Also added that if she wanted to train, she could use Team 7 training grounds if she needed to. Naruto was now talking her to his favorite place in the entire village as the sun was setting. It was going to be even more, made it up to the Hokage monument and he showed Temari the view. Naruto, this view is amazing, the sunset as well is so beautiful, she said with a slight awe in her voice. Yay, come on, let's sit down. He said as he sat down on the 4th second's head and patted a spot next to it. The two just sat there until the sun set completely and just stayed there in a comfortable silence, for it was the one who got up first, saying it was getting late and she was going to go back to her hotel. Temari-chan, do you mind if I walk you home? Naruto asked slightly, just shook her head, which made him grin, and he grabbed her hand and they went to her hotel. It was 8 p.m. once they arrived her hotel. Naruto, this was one of the best days of my life, Temari said, with a small grin on her face. Well, do why you want to go? Again, Naruto asked, slightly nervous, yet slightly hopeful. Sure, let's do this in 2 days' time and meet me here, okay, she said, which made Naruto nod immediately. She laughed at his antics and soon waved goodbye and got into the hotel. That was awesome, Naruto shouted as he started to walk, soon got home and started to get some rest as he was going to do at least double the amount of training he usually does tomorrow as he needed to get stronger for the exams that were coming. He soon got ready for sleep and he just dropped down to his bed, happy for what the day gave him. Chapter 6, the turmoil builds up. 4-day time skip. Hokage Tower. Team 7 just arrived from doing several D-rank missions and are now meeting up with the Hokage. Old man, we are done, so can we go home now? Naruto asked in a whiny tone. Kakashi, are they ready? The Hokage asked, ignoring Naruto. Yes, Hokage-sama, I would say that all 3 of them are quite ready, Kakashi said with a hint of proudness for his students. Well, Team 7, I believe your sensei's words and I will allow you to join the exams coming, Tomoro. Hiruzen stated while handing 3 papers to the genins. Naruto instantly filled his up and handed it back to the Hokage, same as Sasuke. However, Sakura didn't sign it at first until she saw Sasuke do it. Thank you so much, old man, you don't know how much this means to me, Naruto said while jumping up and down like a child. Naruto's face went sour. If I'm in the exams, I'm gonna have to face Temari-chan, Naruto thought sadly. Yes, now I want all of you to go to the academy room 3 for the first part, now get everything you need ready cause tomorrow's gonna be a long day. Said Hiruzen. The genin quickly left to start getting ready. This year is gonna be an interesting one with 3 rookie teams. Hiruzen said with a smirk. Indeed Hokage same yes indeed Kakashi said with an eye smile of his own. Kakashi, how is your team's level at this moment as well as their relationship? Sarutobi asked, hopeful that they have resolved their problems. Well, Naruto is mid-chunin level, Sasuke is around high genin to low chunin level, Sakura however I would say is low genin. She hasn't put much effort into training and I've tried to get her to train, but she just doesn't. Naruto is the strategist of the team, but Sasuke rarely follows Naruto's plans, even if they are good just follows whatever Sasuke says, so Naruto really has grown a lot more distant towards the team like Naruto was, but this time I don't think I can do anything. The masked man said, while closing his eyes. Hiruzen just sighed. Well, I hope they can put aside their differences for the second stage of the exam, or they're gonna pay the price. Sarutobi said with worry in his voice. Team 10 Training Grounds. Team 10, you all have shown to be very strong, and I would like to congratulate you in making it to the exams, Asuma said with a smirk on his face. This is gonna be so troublesome, the Nara said. I might be able to finally win Sasuke-kun over Ino, hoping to finally get her crush. Thank you sensei for this opportunity, Choji said, grateful towards his sensei. Team 8 Training Grounds. Team, you all are really strong is why I am going to allow all of you to join the exams. I feel that you all are ready and might make Chunin. Kurenai said in a calm voice, but in reality she was so proud of her students. Kurenai sensei, why are we 3 rookies going in the exams? Shino asked calmly. Who cares about the exams? Kiba exclaimed. I hope I can impress Naruto-kun, Hinata said in a soft voice. Naruto's home. I've got nothing to do today and I'm resting, so I'll go train with Kurama since it doesn't train me physically. Naruto thought as he started meditating. Naruto's mindscape was still a sower, but it was a bit more bright and not as dark as it used to. Stand in front of the gate for keeping Kurama locked inside. Kurama, are you there? Naruto shouted. Naruto, I am here, he stated while opening his eye. Yo, you should rest even if training with me is mental, it will cause you stress that puts a pain on you physically, but not as much as normal, it's still there. It's fine now, help me with my combo jutsu, Naruto said with a smirk. Alright, use that new I taught you earlier. Naruto did as told and started to suck up air while making hand signs. Fire style blue bomb barrage, Naruto exclaimed as he released multiple blue flame balls from his mouth. Good job, that was a B rank that you just learned, which is impressive since we've only started this a week ago. Kurama was impressed at how fast Naruto was developing. You probably would be a lot stronger than you are right now if the insolent mortals at the academy trained you right. Why don't you punish them? Fox stated in a more evil tone. You know, sometimes I forget you're a massive hate and chakra. The blonde said with a large grin. Well, anyway, I have a new exercise to improve your chakra control. Kurama said as he started weaving hand signs. After Kurama did his last hand sign, Naruto felt a burning sensation all over his body. What did you do? Naruto stated in pain. What I have done is increase the air around us to a boiling temperature, and if you don't want it to hurt, you must coat yourself in chakra. This will increase your chakra reserves and control. Kurama said all this while chuckling slightly at the state his jailer was in. It's not funny, Naruto shouted. Naruto, I never would have thought in my wildest dreams I would actually help my jailers, the thought to himself. Let's do this for 30 minutes, then I want you to get rest. I've seen what they do for the exams in my previous jailers, and you will need rest, to which the blonde replied with a simple nod. Soon the blonde left and he started preparing his items for the exams. He packed up sealing scrolls and quite a few were prepared to go for the exams. The academy. The genin of Team 7 agreed to meet up at the academy, and at the moment they were waiting for Sasuke. Sakura, Naruto spoke, breaking the silence he and her were in. Why do you love Sasuke so much? I just want a reason, and I don't want you to answer oh, it's because he is so cool. I want a real and legitimate answer. Why do you want to know? Baka Sakura spoke. It's because I want to actually see why you like him, because in my eyes besides the cool factor that you girls say he has, he isn't really much. Naruto said, which made Sakura mad. Calm down and please just answer my question. Naruto said in a commanding, started to think of an answer besides him being wasn't strong, as he had heard that Choji beat didn't care much or actually liked, didn't really fit any of the qualities she wanted, and Naruto fit most of those qualities. I don't really know. Was confused because she could not come up with a single thing she liked about Sasuke. If you can't even come up with a reason for why you like him, I don't think you should be with him. Find someone who wants to protect you, who cares for you. Naruto, are you saying all this so I give up on Sasuke, then you take me out on a date? Sakura asked in a very angry tone. No was all she got as a reply. Soon they went back into a silence and Sasuke soon got to room 3, but it was on the second floor. Yo, you all see it right? Naruto asked in a whisper, and he got nods as replies. Don't tell anyone there, people can't spot a simple, they don't belong here, the blind stated as he walked away with his teammates in pursuit. While they were heading towards the real room, they met a person in a green spandex. Sasuke Uchiha fight Genin said. Well, if I'm gonna fight you, at least tell me your name. My name is Rock, let's fight. The green spandex boy soon dashed forward in a great show of speed. He is faster than me, I'm gonna have to up the Taijutsu training, Naruto said with a smirk, happy there was going to be a was getting trashed around by was speed around Sasuke's Sharingan too fast for his body to even follow. Lee was starting to pull off his bandages, but a turtle suddenly appeared. Lee, why are you using that technique? The turtle shouted angrily. I am sorry guy sensei, I'm not sure what I was thinking. Lee apologized in a sincere tone. Suddenly in a puff of smoke a bigger version of Lee appeared. Lee, I'm sorry, this is all my fault, I should have taught you better. I will do 1000 push-ups on my thumbs. I sensei, this is my fault, I will do 1000 push-ups with you. Oh Lee. I sensei. It soon went on like this, and a beach started when members of Team 7 tried to dispel it, but to no avail it did not. The green beast stopped and Team 7 ran away as fast as they could to room 3A. Once they reached the door they saw their sensei in front of it. Hey, I'm here to wish you all good luck, so I hope you all do fine. I may not have been able to teach you a lot, but I hope you all work together and your teamwork will be fine, Kakashi said with a nice smile. Thank you sensei. The blind sighed and soon opened the doors to room 3A and they saw a bunch of 100 genin were there to take the exams. Sasuke-kun was hurt as Ino clamped onto Ino's surprise. Sakura didn't say anything, she just kept quiet. And maybe my words did get through to her. This is so true. Blessamy was heard from the laziest genin in Konoha. Its gonna be fine, Shikamaru. Choji said. Hey guys, how have you been doing? Naruto said as he saw his two best friends. It's been good that two teammates arrived to make a full reunion of the rookie 9. Hey Naruto, why are you probably the weakest out of all of us? Kiba said chuckling, which made a tick mark appear on Naruto's head. And Naruto-kun Hinata knew she had a crush on him, but he wasn't going to say liked Hinata as a friend, but he never felt anything like that and also doesn't like the fact she is so shy towards him. Hey guys, I guess this is a reunion, the blind said with a big grin on his face. Naruto, please kill. What Inyazuka Brath said in an evil tone which just made Naruto smirk. Hey, you all better keep it down, everyone starring the white-haired teen said. Who are you, was what Kiba said. Is Kiba really this much of an idiot? Was I like that before him? I still like this, Naruto thought with worry at being an idiot. Kiba, he is obviously a genin taking the exams. Yeah, your blonde friend is right, and look around you, everyone is looking at you 9 rookies with disgust. He said, gesturing around the room. Yeah, I guess you're right, and could you tell me your name? Kabuto Yakushi, Naruto Kabuto said, which made Naruto a little shocked. How, do you know my name? The genin said, as slightly worried if this guy knew about his secret. I have info cards on everyone who is entering the exams. I made them when I was entering the exams for the third. They have data on almost everyone here. Kabuto said with a hint of pride in himself. Can you tell me about Rock Lee and Naruto Uzumaki? The normally brooding Uchiha asked. And added Sabakugara to Naruto added. Kabuto then poured chakra into his info cards and it revealed the data. Rock Lee, a Taijutsu specialist known in jutsu capabilities, no pure Taijutsu, which is off the mission record. His pretty teammates are Tenten and Neji Hyuga. The last name made Hinata flinch, which did not go unnoticed by Naruto. Naruto Inu style for Taijutsu affinities include wind and nose 3 wind style. Kabuto was cut off by Naruto. I don't want all my data leaking out now, do we? It will give everyone an advantage and everyone can hear what you're saying right now. Naruto said with a grin. I guess you're right, but do you want me to go ahead and do Sabakugara? Kabuto asked, to which he got a small nod in reply. Sabakugara, his mission record is insane. He has gone on a B rank in 15 C ranks and he has never gotten bruised once or has not known all I have on him. All the rookie 9 were shocked that a genin had never been hurt so they could continue their idle chatter. Ibiki came through another door. Listen up maggots, in the proctor for the first round of the exams, so take a seat. Ibiki saying all this in a commanding manner as told instantly. Alright, the first test is a written test and there are 10 questions. You will get the last question at the end. 10 minutes before you get caught cheating 3 times you will be kicked out immediately. Ibiki said, which caught the attention of a certain blonde. They are letting us cheat, but if we get caught 3 times where means they want us to cheat to gather intel, as a lot of chins are gonna have to collect intel. Now I'm going to pass out the papers you can read, but if I see you writing you're gonna be kicked out immediately. Ibiki said as he started passing papers. Now all of you have your papers, you may begin writing, Ibiki said, which instantly got pencils moving. How am I gonna cheat? I don't have any subtle moves. All my friends are brawling. Naruto thought worriedly. Naruto, I can help, I can possess the mind of someone using chakra, but I won't have any movement in them, but I can see sense in their body. It only works when the target is not using chakra, so I will, Kurama said. Alright Kurama, tell me when you do it, cause I don't want a proctor thinking I'm cheating, so I'm gonna have to be in a proper stance. Okay. 15 minutes passed and Naruto hadn't filled up a single weight until others had filled up their papers and it should be around now. I am going in now, the voice echoed throughout the blonde's head. Kurama's consciousness soon left towards their target, who had a vest outline on his lost consciousness, and Kurama went in. These answers are weird. Kurama soon memorized the answers and left the Chunin's body and went back to Naruto. Kurama, how do you have the ability to leave my body, and can't we use it in battle? The blonde asked. Firstly, I don't. If there is even a slight use of chakra, I can't possess the body, and it only works against weak-minded fools, so it can't be used in battle against a strong opponent. Kurama soon told Naruto all 9 answers, and he copied it down, and in 15 more minutes he was completely done. Sakura should be fine with her insane brain. Sasuke probably could use the Sharingan, so I think we are more than fine. Soon it was time for the last question. Alright maggots, this last question is optional. If you don't want to take it you don't have to, but if choose not to you're immediately disqualified, which shocked many genins and whispers of why the hell would we say no, or he must be an idiot. If you choose to accept and you answer wrongly, you will never be able to take the exams again and you will forever remain a genin. So all the 9 questions before this were pointless, Kiba shouted, to which his reply was a nod. This is such a fun game. You're playing Ibiki Marino. I wonder if I should play shogi with. Will get a lot of people, but not part of the test is to see if you can make hard decisions for the greater good. Great mind games this man plays, Naruto thought, a smirk appearing on his face. Alright, all those who don't want to take the question, please raise up your hand. Ibiki said, making more than half raise their hands up. Thankfully she didn't. 15 teams, those 15 we knew were Rookie 9, Rock Lee's team, the Sand team and Kabuto's team. Alright, you all passed. Ibiki said, which shocked many people, yet at the same time not many people. Anko's gonna kill me when she finds out this many people are left. Upon cue, a black ball came crashing through the window with a banner saying "Sexy Anko Mitarashi at your service." No, why is she the second proctor? Naruto was horrified at all the times he her and Iruka spent together. Maggots, in your second proctor Anko Mitarashi, meet me at training ground 44 in an hour. Anko's voice echoed throughout the room. Ibiki, how could you pass so many of them? Anko said, disappointed in her INT department co-worker. Well, what can I see, I guess they're not as dumb as many think, Ibiki said. Well, they're at least gonna drop to half the teams, Anko said while grinning. Outside the academy, many teams were leaving. To get on the other hand was waiting for his sister figure Anko to come. Anko came out. A figure shouted hey as the figure ran up to her. She saw that it was her favorite blonde. Hey kid, what's going on? Anko stated, grinning at the flustered look he had. Ni-chan, you never said you were going to be the second proctor, Naruto said, mad. Now let's go get Dango and some ramen. In this 1 hour I'll take you with me to the forest of death later. She said while putting Naruto in a headlock and dragging him to her favorite Dango store. Chapter 7, Snake Ally or Foe. Naruto just finished the first round of the exams and is now eating dango with his favorite psychopath, Anko Mitarashi. Ever since she and Iruka got together, she and our favorite blonde have been spending a lot of time together, and Naruto now thinks of her as a sister figure. So kid, what have you been up to for training? The snake mistress asked. Well, Ni-chan, I've been trying to learn a new taijutsu style. Inu style is great, but I want something more, so I'm trying to make my own super killer style, the blonde said with stars in his eyes. Well, I for one would love to see your super killer style, she said, chuckling at his antics. She loved these moments with Naruto as it was the times with him and Iruka that she actually felt happy. Same could be said for Naruto and Iruka. Soon it went on like that for a while until nearly an hour passed and they realized they had to go to the Forest of Death. Anko's home away from home as she called it. Forest of Death. Listening to maggots, Anko's voice was heard through all the genin's ears. This is the second stage of the exams. The goal to pass is that you get 2 scrolls and make it to a tower in the middle of the forest, and the scrolls are the Heaven Scroll and the Earth Scroll. Now there are 3 rules, firstly being, if you open the scroll you will be immediately disqualified. Secondly, if one of your members dies you will be disqualified as well, and finally, you must sign these death waivers before you go in, Anko said, handing out waivers. The members of Team 7 met up and signed their waivers. Sakura was actually a bit reluctant, but once Sasuke told her to sign it she did so. They soon went to get their scroll, and the scroll they did get was a Heaven Scroll, so it meant they needed an Earth Scroll. Soon Team 7 were waiting at Gate 12 for the exams to start. Naruto's team had a slight advantage as Naruto trained with Anko here, so he knew a bit about the terrain. Guys, the plan is that we head to a river near this gate, then follow that stream to the tower, and if we are lucky find a team on the way and beat them and get an Earth Scroll, but if we don't get one, we just head to the tower and make traps, Naruto said to his 2 teammates, proud of his plan. Though if we follow your plan I won't be able to prove myself against other teams, said the Avenger. Sasuke, I know you have something to prove, but you're not the only one on this mission. This is the best plan to ensure our safety, and also I am a censor, so if someone tries to get us we can deal with them easily, the blonde said, shutting his brooding teammate up. Soon Team 7 dashed towards the tower. Naruto was using an ability he was using his entire life, but didn't even knew he had it called negative emotion sensing, something he got from being the Naruto being in the lead raised his hand to the side to signify a stop. I'ma go take a leak, so just sit tight. Naruto. Don't say such gross things in front of a lady. Naruto just shrugged it off. The real reason he went to take a leak was because he sensed 3 enemy ninja. As he was pretending to answer nature's call, he was jumped by 3 rain nin, and he easily dispatched them using his Shunshin abilities and dealt with them swiftly. The blonde soon arrived back to his team with 2 heaven scrolls in his hands. Hey guys, so a group of rain nin jumped me and I dealt with them, so yay, let's keep going, the blonde stated, which infuriated his Uchiha teammate as he wanted to be the one to battle. Soon they were about 3/4 the way to the tower, having only been an hour and a half, and that half being a break session for Sakura as she was the only one on their team with low stamina. They got on the move after their 3rd break and Naruto told his team he sensed a battle up ahead which Sasuke seemed eager to go to. They got to the battlefield and there was the team from Sound and a team that seemed to be 2 to 3 years older than Naruto's team. Naruto's team just observed while Naruto formed a plan to easily dispatch of the Sound team as they were the ones who were winning. Soon the Leaf Nin dropped from exhaustion and Naruto then was about to enact his plan. These Leaf Nin are the boy that had no bandages on was cut off as a rain of 100 kunai came at them from all directions. The 2 boys were lucky and were able to not get wounding cuts, but their kunoichi got her leg pinned to the ground with a kunai and she got hit by all the kunai, effectively mortally paralyzing her. A huge fireball came shooting at the boy without bandages, who then raised his arm and blew a ferocious wind that broke the fireball, but he was surprised when shuriken were in the fireball still coming at him. He was barely able to dodge the shuriken, but he then got stabbed in the back by a blonde holding a bloodied kunai. You're not gonna die, but you're wounded to be out of this fight, the blind said calmly. The blonde turned his gaze to the last remaining member of the Sound Nin. I suggest you hand both scrolls you have and walk away, because if you don't my teammates are still hiding and they will get you. Easy there. Here are the scrolls and theirs, he said, placing the scrolls on the ground, then jumped away. The 2 members of Team 7 that were still hiding came out and saw they had 2 earth scrolls that Naruto was pocketing. Alright, now we make a mad dash to the tower, the blonde said, jumping away his teammates' clothes in pursuit. It was going fine until Naruto sensed an absurd amount of negative emotions coming straight for his team. He did mental calculations and found that it would take 5 minutes to reach the tower at the pace they were going and 2 minutes for the person tailing them to catch up. Sasuke and Sakura pick up the pace by at least double. Someone's tailing us and it's a level shinobi. Let's just wait and fight it, Sasuke said, smirking. No. Was all the blonde said, but it made everyone double their pace, but Sakura was low on stamina, so she had to take soldier pills. Naruto then made a clone and Mada carry Sakura bridal style, which she made a "eep" sound, to which he replied, "I'm doing this because you're slow and we need to get to the tower," which seemed to shut Sakura up. The blonde then made 100 clones and split up to distract their pursuer for a while, but he soon went back to their tail. You need to let the Uchiha and the pink one go ahead, the person tailing you will catch up," said, which he got a simple nod. Naruto told Sasuke the plan and Sasuke was furious. Naruto suggested he run, but Naruto just knocked him out and summoned another clone to carry him with the other clone he had carrying Sakura. He soon then created 500 shadow clones with the help of Kurama's chakra and was waiting for his opponent. His opponent arrived on a snake summon, which made Naruto instantly realize this person was Orochimaru. "You're Orochimaru?" he asked, scared yet determined to protect his friends. "Yes, I am a boy and you are the Kyuubi. By the way, you're flaring your chakra, you're trying to get here. I guess you're not as dumb as people think you are." Orochimaru soon leapt into action, still in his hidden grass and disguise, dispatching the 500 Narutos in a minute. At this point his team was safe, but he wasn't. He needed to gather his chakra plus the Kyuubis. Naruto then got on all fours with a red chakra cloak enveloping him with a tail swinging behind him violently. Flashback 3 days ago. Naruto's mindscape. Naruto, today until the exams. I'm gonna be teaching you how to use my chakra. Well, only 1 tail's worth so far, but still it will help a lot, and use it only as a last resort. Kurama said, which Naruto nodded. "Let's go, Kurama," the blonde said. Present. "It seems you're using its chakra. Well, I guess this is it for now," Orochimaru said, starting up a ceiling which Naruto recognized as the 5 elemental sea, but before he could dodge, Orochimaru just beat him in a show of speed and hit Naruto, making him unconscious. Naruto's eyes fluttered open to see he was in bed. He looked around to see he was in a resting room, but what was the most surprising was that he saw Temari using his belly as a pillow and sitting on a chair next to the bed sleeping. "Naruto, you're awake. I need to tell you things," they said. "Go ahead," the blind said, eyes not leaving the girl. "Well, when the snake theme knocked you unconscious, the Uchiha found you. I got you here," making Naruto grateful towards his teammate. Overall you passed and the doctors nursed you, but I can't use my chakra because that snake team used a seal on you. Now when your mate on your lap heard about you she came and stayed with you ever since, so I would say you have good taste kid. This statement made Naruto turn a red pink. Also check your headband. Naruto did as told and was surprised to see a letter with a sealing array on it from Orochimaru. Dear Naruto-kun. Your battle with me impressed me, so I decided to reward you with a scroll containing elemental wind style. What you do with it is your choice. From Orochi-kun. I don't know if I should be thankful or pissed. Naruto then undid the sealing array, which made a scroll filled with a few air rank wind, as well as a few beer rank, which Naruto would get to learning later. Right now he just rested with a goddess's blessing on his lap. Chapter 8 The Six. Naruto fluttered his eyes open to see him in the same room, the only difference being that Temari was now awake. Naruto-kun, you're awake, she said while hugging him. I was so worried about what Kunoichi said with a slight blush. You know, I woke up earlier and saw what you were doing. Temari-chan, the blonde teased, making her blush darker. Udaka. She said, hitting him on the head. Naruto let her hit him for a reason he didn't know. Well, I'll leave you for now and let you get your rest since I know you're okay, the Kunoichi said, heading towards me at the door. Before she left she turned around and said, stay safe next time. Your choice in a mate is splendid, was all Kurama needed to say to make Naruto blush, and the blonde flustered to find an answer, but only embarrassed himself. A day later. Naruto was now training in one of the training grounds in the tower. He had fully recovered by this morning, but it usually would have only taken an hour, but since Orochimaru put a seal on him, he couldn't access the Kyuubi's chakra. Naruto had told the third about everything that happened and he assigned 2 Anbu to guard Sasuke, and he undid Orochimaru's seal, and he was now training, as he was shown just how weak he was compared to Orochimaru. He was now reading multiple books with 5 clones, and he had another 100 clones working on handwriting. He had read about 2 seals that he wanted at the moment, which were the resistance seal and the gravity seal, which were pretty much artificial weights. He himself was reading about Taijutsu styles with 5 other clones. He hadn't met with his teammates yet as he didn't know where they were, so he just filled his time with training. He was now going to his mindscape to learn about fire style. Naruto, today we are going to learn to master your fire style. You only have done 2 exercises, and this last exercise is one that requires you to burn a golden bar. Don't worry about getting the bars, as you can just make an infinite amount, so get going, the fox said, which made Naruto start his training. While he was training, the blonde felt close to igniting a flame on the rock, but what he got was something else. He lit his own hand on fire, and it soon started burning his hand. He ended up getting a bucket of water with Kurama's help and continued to train, but focused on what he did earlier. This went on for a while until he felt a physical tug, so he quickly returned back to his physical state. Hello, Temari said, face inches away from Naruto's. Naruto was surprised at how close her face was and immediately backed up, blushing. Oh, sorry, I didn't realize I was that close, she said, blushing. It's fine, Naruto said sheepishly, having his hands behind his head. So what brings you here? Well, I heard a lot of noise coming from here and I came here seeing all your clones, and I must admit it's impressive, and I asked where the original was and they pointed to you, Temari said, smiling at the leaf genin. Can I ask a question? She asked, which Naruto nodded in response. Why are you training so hard? I've seen the looks those villagers give you and I don't know why, but I doubt you're training to protect them. You're right, I'm not training to protect them, I'm training to protect those that care for me, such as my sensei, my friends. I also want to protect the village, but not as much as my friends, but every Hokage has to take care of the leaf, and most importantly want to protect you, he said, not even realizing what he said. Naruto-kun, you're so sweet and I wouldn't mind if we hung out during these days till the preliminaries, she said bluntly, wanting to hang out with the blonde. Sure, Temari-chan, he said, grinning and also happy he got to spend more time with his friend. I'm so sorry for what's going to happen in a month, Naruto-kun, I have no say in the matter. All I hope for is that you don't die, she thought while wiping away a lone tear. The rest of the day progressed the same. Naruto left his clones to do training and he spent time with Temari. He also sent a clone to tell the Hokage about Orochimaru and him being after Sasuke and advised the Hokage to put an Anbu watching Sasuke. While they were walking around the tower they saw Sasuke and Sakura. Naruto rushed, wanting to thank Sasuke for what he did. Sasuke, Sakura, how are you guys? The blonde said, holding Temari's hand. Naruto, who is this girl? Sakura said with a harsh tone, but she didn't know why. Oh, Sakura, this is Temari-chan. Temari-chan, this is Sakura, the blonde said, introducing them. Sasuke, thanks, Naruto said to Sasuke, who smirked in response. We're gonna go, and by the way, Sasuke, that grass nin was Orochimaru and he was after your Sharingan, so be careful. Why is that girl holding Naruto's hand? He also calls her Temari-chan. The thought. Shanro. She is probably just using him, Naruto is such an idiot, no one wants him in her, Sakura told her normal self. They're probably right, she thought and disregarded it. Why did I feel mad? That thought she kept. With Naruto and Temari. So does everyone fawn over the Uchiha? Temari asked. Why do you ask, and the answer is yes. Naruto responded shocked. I don't know, just felt it, but I think you're way better than emo people like him. Oh, thanks Temari-chan, that means a lot more than you think it does, he said, grinning at how kind she was. Well, I'm gonna go now, it's almost 6 and I guess you have to get back to your team, so I'll see you tomorrow. The blind sighed, walking away. Why did I get attached to him? She thought, crying as she was going to let one of the few people she ever cared for die. Time skip 3 days. Preliminaries arena. All the genin teams that had passed the second round of the exams were gathered with all their sensei. The teams were the Rookie 9 team, the Sand team, Kabuto's team as well as a Mist team. There's 20 people here, so I'm guessing they're having preliminaries cause at most they only have 5 matches a year for the third round, Naruto thought. This exam is probably gonna be the most fun exam I've ever seen. Kyuubi said, grinning like a madman. Is that the cause of 2? No, it's because 3. Naruto's eyes widened at the fact of hearing 3 in the same place at the same time. Who and which team? Which team do you think he is on? Naruto soon ran calculations through his head. Seeing that Gaara was the Ichibi, that means Ichibi was out. Nibs couldn't be possible since the Nibi belonged to Kumo, Cloud, and Ichibi as well. Gobi and Yonbi were out of the question as they were from Iwa, Earth. That left the Sanbi, Rikubi and the Nanabi. Sanbi was owned by the Mizuki Jigura, so it was Rikubi or Nanabi. It's on the Mist team and it's either the Rikubi or the Nanabi. The deduction skills kid, it's the Rikubi and it's the boy with golden eyes and brown hair. Naruto immediately searched for said person and saw him. The boy was around 2 to 4 years older than Naruto and he had a tall and thin figure. He didn't show much emotion, but that was expected of shinobi. What abilities might he have? He will probably have water style and he might have this bubble ability, but don't think they are ordinary bubbles as they have capabilities. Thanks Kurama. You can thank me by releasing me, Kurama said with a smirk on his face, while Naruto just chuckled. After a while, the Hokage arrived and sat in front of all the teams. Naruto stepped forward to tell the Hokage about the Rikubi. Old man, you know that golden-eyed Miss Genin, well he is the Rikubi, Naruto whispered in the Hokage's ears, making his eyes go wide. What proof do you have? The Hokage whispered back. Kyuubi told me to, which the Hokage nodded. Just keep a watch on him, he is still just a genin. Naruto went back to his team, getting looks from everyone wondering why a genin would be talking to the Hokage. Alright, as you all know, you all are here because you passed the second round of the exams. However, we did not expect so many of you to pass, so we have to have preliminaries to reduce the amount of matches. The third round was going to be a tournament where you match up against each other and fight, but there's too many of you. The Hokage said. As I thought, Naruto thought, praising himself slightly. Hokage same, if I cough may continue cough, a coughing man said. You may proceed, Sarutobi replied in a stoic voice. Alright, the reason why we must cough have a preliminaries is because cough there is many important people coming such as daimyos, and we must have only cough the best of the best. Man, this guy needs to go to a hospital was the thoughts of many people. So we're going to have preliminaries and I'm the proctor for the third round, Jeku. So if you see your name on the board flashing behind me, that means it's your turn to fight. If anyone wants to quit now, here's your chance, Hate said while a panel behind him opened to reveal a board. Kabuto's also raised his hand to leave, saying that he has no chakra left after the second round. The board soon started flashing through the names of many participants and it stopped on 2 names. Shino Aburam vs Jebruk. All participants whose names aren't cough on the board please leave. The proctor said. Soon the arena had only the Miss Genin and Shino. Hajim. Hayate shouted and both fighters get into their stances. Jebruk soon started with hand seals water style. Water bullets, he exclaimed as he shot multiple bullets of water that Shino had to dodge. Genrook soon jumped to where Shino was and started to engage in a taijutsu battle that was favorable for him. It was going well for Jebruk until his chakra started depleting and he was slowing down. He jumped back and looked at his legs and saw a swarm of bugs eating at his chakra on his legs. Then he looked back up to see Shino's fist cocked back ready to swing. Shino hit Jebruk straight on the face and sent him sailing, and once he hit the wall he fell unconscious. Winner, Shino Aburam. On the stands. Naruto was moving toward 6 and was hoping this guy wasn't a psychopath like Gaara. Hey 6, Naruto said, extending his hand. 9, the Miss Genin returned and shook Naruto's hand. I'm Naruto Uzumaki and you are? I'm Udakata and I'm 16, the boy now known as Udakata said. Well, it's nice to meet you, and do you know the hate? The blonde said with a sad tone to his voice. It took Udakata a while to understand what Naruto meant, but once he did he said yes. Well, I hope I can be your first friend. Naruto said with a big grin and extended his hand again to help a fellow. I would like that, Naruto said, smiling happily at the possibility of finally having a friend, and quickly shook the blonde's hand. By the way, the Redeed on the sand team is number 1, which made Udaka wide-eyed. The next match was soon starting as the medics took Jebrook away and the board flashed more names. Naruto Uzumaki vs Sasuke Uchiha. Their reactions varied from person to person. Sasuke smirked at finally being able to fight Naruto again. Kakashi sighed, hoping this didn't happen, while Naruto just hoped it didn't make their relationship worse. The two rivals soon got to the arena. Naruto, it seems I finally get the spar I've been asking for. The Uchiha said, grinning like a madman. All he got for a reply was Naruto sighing. Let's get this over with. Chapter 9 Rivals turned enemies. Naruto and Sasuke were in their stances. 3 minutes ago Hade had started the match, but both of them hadn't moved an inch. Naruto was just waiting, having already formed a plan for everything Sasuke could do at that point, so he was just waiting. Sasuke on the other hand was slightly annoyed seeing no weak points in Naruto's guard. He had wanted to win without using the Sharingan, but he realized he was going to need it to win. The stands were mostly quiet, all just expecting Sasuke to win, but a few did expect Naruto to win. The stands. Naruto is unlucky having to fight the Uchiha, I feel bad for him, Kurenai said to the other sensei who could only chuckle. Kurenai, don't judge a book by its cover. I'm wondering how Naruto will beat Sasuke. Kakashi started with an eye smile which made the mistress wide-eyed. I agree with you that he is most likely the strongest in these exams, Sarutobi said. I don't believe you, but I guess seeing is believing. Kurenai said, turning her gaze to the two shinobi on the arena. Arena? Oh, why don't you make a move? Sasuke said, trying to taunt Naruto. Which just made Naruto sigh. Does he think I'm an idiot? Naruto asked his tenant. Please beat this Uchiha. I hate them, they are the worst of the worst, Kurama said, with the most evil glare Naruto ever saw him give, which sent a shiver up his spine. Yeah, sure, I'll use that dance, the blonde said, which made Kurama grin evilly. Dance of the teleporter. Naruto exclaimed, disappearing from where he was and then reappeared. Naruto didn't seem different, but Sasuke had multiple bruises on him. What did he do? I felt so many punches hit me, but I didn't even see him. Sasuke thought, shocked. Naruto proceeded to disappear and reappear, giving Sasuke even more bruises, and this continued, slowly damaging the Uchiha. The stands. What is he doing? Kurenai asked, wide-eyed at how easily the blonde was putting down the Uchiha. Naruto is cheating, Sakura and Ino said in unison. I'm sorry to say, but Naruto is not even cheating. He is only using one of these techniques, Asuma said, smirking at how strong the blonde was. He is using a technique that a person used a while ago that made him known as Shisui the teleporter. The statement made all people who knew that name wide-eyed at how the dead last recreate one of the strongest techniques the Leaf ever had. Are you telling me he is using the same technique Shisui Uchiha the legend did? They asked with utter disbelief in his voice. Yes, albeit on a lower level, but in a while it will be better, Shikamaru said, now joining the conversation. He is probably the strongest person in our generation now, by the way what you're seeing is only one of his new techniques, the Nara said, smirking at the looks they were giving him of utter shock, disbelief and denial. The fight? What are you doing, dope? Sasuke exclaimed, furious at the fact he hadn't landed a single punch on the blonde, but he on the other hand was close to losing. Nothing special, I just read a book on a few great people that had cool techniques and I saw this guy called Shisui Uchiha and I just saw his technique and more or less copied it, the genin said, infuriating Sasuke. How did he learn Shisui Nai-sen's technique? No one in our clan could do that and the dope of all people is doing it. Uchiha said, his anger was boiling. Fire style. Phoenix flower jutsu. Sasuke said, shooting multiple balls of fire at Naruto, who started making his own hand signs. Fire style. Blue bomb barrage, the blonde said, shooting his own blue balls of fire at Sasuke. The balls of fire were fighting for dominance, but the blue fireballs easily beat Sasuke's fireballs and a few of them hit Sasuke and he soon fell to the ground. Proctor called this match, I am in perfect condition and he is in no condition to continue to fight. Naruto said, not want to fight anymore, seeing that Sasuke could not fight anymore. No. Sasuke shouted, running at Naruto doing his own hand signs. Fire style. Blue bomb barrage. Uchiha said, doing Naruto's technique only to have it explode on him. You're really dumb, you know, you expect that if you see me do hand signs one time, no practice, you think instantly you can copy, Naruto said with a hint. Why? 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 Sasuke said, increasing his voice. Why am I losing to the dope? Sasuke shouted, anger clearly in his voice. Almost all of the rookie 9 were shocked at how easily Naruto disabled Sasuke. Sasuke was the strongest of them and miles ahead of Naruto, and seeing the same Naruto surpass all of them in just a few months was surprising to say the least. Proctor, Naruto said in a commanding tone. Call the match. Winner Na hate was interrupted by a kunai sent his way by the last Uchiha. He hasn't won. Sasuke shouted, hurting his ears. Kakashi soon appeared behind Sasuke and backhanded him, making him fall unconscious. I'm sorry for his behavior, just call the match, Kakashi said, swinging the unconscious Sasuke on his shoulder. Okay, like I was saying. Winner. Naruto Uzumaki. The third round, Proctor said, making Naruto instantly shunch into the stands. The stands. Naruto appeared on the stands, and all the rookie 9 were staring at him, with the exception of Shikamaru and Choji. What do I have on my face? The blonde asked calmly. What do you mean? You just beat Sasuke Uchiha, the strongest of all of us, like nothing. Kiba said. Well, he wasn't really much of a challenge. I could have just used Dance of the Teleporter and won the match by hitting an important part of his body, but I wanted to do it slowly for fun, he said, grinning at the wide-eyed look Kiba gave him. So you're telling me you didn't even try that much? Yeah, pretty much, the genin said. Naruto-san slid over to where Udaka was to talk to his new friend, and in a while the board started flashing names again, which made everyone eye them carefully. Arasabaku vs Choji Akimichi. Choji, be careful, he is like me, Naruto said in a serious tone. Choji knew what he meant, as he knew Naruto was being told by him a while ago, the same as Shikamaru. Don't worry, I'll be fine, Choji said, smirking. Naruto knew Choji was at least level, but Gaara was, so he was not to be underestimated. Will the contestants come to the arena? Hayate asked and got answered as Gaara appeared in a swirl of sand and Choji jumped over the railing and hopped onto the arena. Are both fighters ready? Hayate asked, to which both nodded while Choji got into a battle stance while Gaara just stood there. Hajime. Choji soon started going in for an attack, but when he threw his punches, sand came to block the punch. Choji pulled back his hand and threw another hand to hit Gaara, but the sand came to defend again and Choji backed off. It seems he has a where sand can block any attack I send, but each defense has its limits, the Akimichi heir thought, smirking. Partial expansion. Arm, Choji said, making his entire right hand expand to a large size. Choji smashed his arm into Gaara. The sand tried to block Choji's attack, but it was just too strong and it demolished the sand, pummeling Gaara. This gave looks of shock to the Sand siblings, as well as their sensei, having never seen anyone who broke Gaara's sand shield. Gaara at the moment was using all of his force to support his sand shield by putting more chakra into it, trying to block Choji's arm, but it was useless as it soon pummeling Gaara right in the face, but Gaara luckily had his sand armor. How do you like that? Choji shouted, happy he landed a hit. What is wrong with this guy? I know Jinchuriki lives a bad life, but man, Akimichi thought. If I didn't train, I definitely would not have even been able to hit him then. Choji soon withdrew his large hand back into normal size. That took quite a chunk of my chakra. When Choji withdrew his hand, he saw Gaara on the ground, skin shedding into sand, which made Choji's eyes wide. You're strong, Akimichi, no one in a while has forced me to use my sand armor. Killing you will prove my existence. Gaara said like a madman, and his sand started moving around trying to grab Choji, who had to take evasive maneuvers to dodge the immense attack from the sand. You're insanely strong, I don't think I can beat you, but to prove that I'm a strong clan heir for the Akimichi clan, I shall beat you. Choji said, now charging at Gaara. Partial expansion. Choji's leg soon grew to the size of a giant. Choji brought it down in an axe kick motion, smashing Gaara's sand shield again. However, Gaara dodged the kick when it burst his shield, but Choji was pursuing his attack with a giant punch, hitting Gaara straight on, breaking his sand armor, but not enough to damage him yet. Damn, what do I need to do to break that shield? I'm almost out of chakra. I'll put this into a final attack, Choji thought, reaching into his pouch and finding a casing holding 3 pills, being a green, yellow and red pill. Choji soon took the green pill out of its casing and ate it. His chakra soon flared, making his chakra nearly triple in power. Many who did not know what that pill was were now shocked at Choji's power. The stance. Shika, it seems Choji is using the spinach pill. I guess Gaara isn't a pushover. Naruto said. It's not that Gaara is damaging Choji overall. At this point it's a test of endurance for who can outlast the other, and for Choji it seems the odds don't seem good. That sand is most likely reinforced with chakra, and a lot of it at that. Gaara's chakra is definitely depleting, but since his chakra reserves are high, so I don't think Choji can win. Not trying to sound sour, Shikamaru said, breaking down the battle and Gaara's abilities. I hope Choji knows when to quit or he can get seriously hurt, especially when eating a pill. The blonde said, worried for his friend. What exactly does that pill do? It seems like a really good use in battle as it nearly tripled your friend's chakra. Udaka asked Naruto and Shikamaru. Well, Choji just ate one of the 3 colored pills. The 3 are the spinach pill, yellow curry pill and the red chili pill. The effects range from massive exhaustion to death. He ate the weakest of the pills so he isn't going to die, but after the battle he is going to be weakened, Nara said, to which Udaka nodded in understanding. The battle. Choji was now charging up his chakra for an attack that he learned but could only do once he used the spinach pill. Gaara could sense the chakra building in Choji and decided it wasn't a good idea to let him continue and soon started to trap sand around him. Shocking Gaara, Choji just stood there. Gaara didn't care as he would get an easy kill and wrap Choji in the sand and coffin, he said. He was going to say sand burial, but Choji soon used the he was charging up for super expansion jutsu. Choji exclaimed, bursting out of the sand in a huge size that was insane. Everyone was wide-eyed at the fact that Choji just did the super expansion jutsu on a lower scale, but still did it. Choji's entire body was now the size of all his other limbs when he did partial expansion. Choji was now swinging his arms at Gaara, breaking his sand shield and hurting Gaara's sand armor. He did not stop his continued assault, pummeling Gaara. At this point it was a test of endurance, as Shikamaru stated. If Choji got out of his super expansion jutsu he would lose. If Gaara didn't sustain his sand shield and sand armor he would lose. Choji kept pummeling Gaara, who kept reinforcing his sand armor each time he got hit. Gaara's reserves at this point were close to done, but the same could be said for Choji. Choji, reaching his limit, knew it was now or ever. Giant slam. Choji exclaimed, jumping into the air and body slamming Gaara with all his might. No one knew what happened as Gaara was under Choji's massive body and Choji was just laying there. Soon Choji started going back to his normal size. When he returned it showed Gaara and Choji, they're both bleeding. Gaara on a lower scale but still bleeding. The Sand siblings, Baki and Gaara himself, were wide-eyed at the fact that Gaara was bleeding. Gaara had never ever been hurt. Gaara was mad at the fact he was bleeding. He soon saw the form of Choji on the ground. Gaara sent his sand to Choji and the sand encompassed Choji's right arm and his left leg. Gaara spoke 2 words and Choji's right arm and left leg were destroyed. Sand burial. Gaara started making his right hand move into a fist. He was going to continue the burial, but Naruto jumped in when the sand was approaching his friend and just hit the sand away. Naruto had tears in his eyes at the state his friend was in. He should have intervened earlier. Naruto, despite not being a medic, knew for some reason that Choji might not be a ninja again. "Why did you do that?" Naruto said, trying to choke back sobs. "Why did you protect him?" Gaara said, questioning why someone would protect anyone other than themselves. "I did it because he was my friend and he was precious to me. Now answer my question." Naruto said, shouting with an intense amount of killer intent. "I did it because I needed to prove my existence by killing him," Gaara said calmly and stoic. "I swear in the 3rd round I will beat you," Naruto said, cutting himself with a kunai and making a blood oath. Shikamaru in the stands was crying as he saw his best friend hurt and he swore he would hurt Gaara. Temari and Kankuro appeared at Gaara's side, taking him away to medics. Alright, Hate was a little shocked at what happened. "Winner is Gaara Sabaku," he said, albeit a little unwillingly. Hiruzen was sighing as he was going to have to deal with the council at letting a sand genin injure a clan heir. Hiruzen saw the wounds Choji had suffered and knew it was severe. Naruto returned to the stands crying. A lot of the rookie 9 were shocked as they never saw Naruto cry and he was always the happy knuckle-headed idiot. Naruto turned his gaze to Shikamaru. "I swear I will beat him for Choji," he said. "Same here," Shika said, still having to hold back his sobs. Chapter 10. There was silence as Choji was carried off by medics. Naruto and Shikamaru had cleared their tears and were determined to defeat Gaara. "Alright, I will now begin the next match," the proctor said as the board behind him flashed the names like before. "Temari vs Tenten, just like canon, not even gonna waste your and my time." "Nice job, Temari-chan," Naruto exclaimed, happy his other friend won, but he was a little unnerved and decided never to anger her. "Does my blonde genin have a new crush?" Kakashi thought perversely while giving a soft perverted giggle. Soon Tenten was carried off by medics and it was time for the next match and the board flashed again. Kiba Inuzuka vs Yoroi Akato. "Alright, it's my turn," Kiba said, jumping toward the arena eagerly while Yoroi just walked there. "Hajime," Hayate said as both fighters were ready and the fight commenced. Kira charged in like a madman using his clan techniques to transform Akamaru's dog into himself and they were now attaching Yoroi. Yoroi's abilities were impressive, but when he had to fight 2 opponents at once it was a bit hard, but Yoroi was managing. Both Kibas backed off and were now on all fours. Fang over fang. The original Kiba shouted, now spinning vertically towards his opponent with Akamaru. Yoroi kept dodging, but his reserves were low and he didn't know how long he could keep it up. Both Kibas soon crashed into Yoroi, smashing his glasses and making him bleed. Once Kiba stopped spinning, Yoroi fell flat to the ground unconscious, not able to handle all the damage from Fang over Fang. "Yada," Kiba said, now running all around the arena and soon went to the stands to be greeted by Hinata. "UMG, good job K Kiba-kun." Please have some of this healing cream. She said the first part barely above whisper while handing him a container of healing cream. Thanks so much Hinata-chan. The Inyazuka said embracing the Hyuga heiress who blushed from the contact. Now the board was flashing again. Many people still hadn't done their matches being Shikamaru, Udaka, Kankuro, Sakura, Ino, Hinata, Team Guy, another Miss Genin and one of Kabuto's teammates, so there was still much competition left. Kankuro Sabaku vs Misumi Tsurugi, same as canon again. Misumi's abilities weren't bad, but Kankuro was just more skilled, a certain blonde thought. Kankuro who was going to the stands did not go to his team, but instead towards Naruto who was alone. Hey kid, why do you call my sister Temari-chan? The puppeteer wondered why his sister and Leaf Nin were so close. Naruto proceeded to tell Kankuro about his and Temari's relationship which made him wide-eyed. In all of his years living he had never ever heard of his sister going out for a date and actually letting a guy touch her much less hold her hand. So yeah that's pretty much it the blonde said breaking Kankuro out of his stupor. Kid, teach me. Teach you what? How to handle my sister. In all my years of being with my sister, I think she is the most comfortable around you if your story is true. Oh well I don't really know, I just be myself and yay, but I hope she someday opens up to you. He said with a big grin on his face. Almost on cue as the conversation ended the board started flashing. Hinata Hyuga vs Neji Hyuga. Both Hyugas tensed up one in disappointment and one in sheer excitement at the ability to prove himself. The reactions did not go unnoticed to a certain blonde. Battle goes pretty much same until the end when Neji finishes the match. Neji, you're from the branch family right? Naruto asked to which he got a hesitant nod. Well if I can say anything it's that Hinata is definitely not an ordinary main family member, Hinata is one if not the nicest and kind-hearted person I've ever met and for you to hurt her because of her family's actions is not fair and it makes you the villain. He said with a frown on his face. And what do you know of being branded with a curse? Neji shouted, starting to undo his headband revealing his caged bird seal. This hurt is a caged bird seal, if I do anything that the main family deems evil they will use it to hurt me, it's a seal saying I will never have freedom as long as I have this. The Hyuga prodigy said with anger in his eyes. I probably know more about having a curse than you, but now I changed my curse into a blessing, but I guess won't work for you. Neji, how about this? When I become Hokage I will definitely change the Hyuga clan, and you can believe it that I won't go back on my word. The blonde said in a serious tone which made a lot of people just sigh, knowing that old habits never die. Neji simply walked away not wanting to deal with this anymore heading to the infirmary. The board soon chose names of the remaining participants. Udaka vs Rock Lee. Yosh. It is my turn now, I knew I would not get last, and now I can fan my flames of youth. Lee said, jumping to the arena. Is everyone in Konoha freaks? Udaka asked his blonde friend. I don't know I just don't know. Udaka appeared in the arena using a water shunshin. Yosh my friend I hope we will have time to enhance our flames of youth and I thank you for having this match with me. The spandex wearing Genin said getting into his Goken, strong fist, stance. I thank you too Mr. Udaka left it hanging obviously asking for a name. Rock Lee and your R? Lee asked to know his opponent. Udaka and let's get this match started soon, both got in their stances waiting for the Hajime the proctor said and when it did Udaka just distanced himself while Lee rushed in. Lee was fast, too fast for a genin, and he came full speed at Udaka until he stopped seeing bubbles in the air. He didn't know why they were there so he touched one and it popped into an explosion. Exploding bubbles Udaka said making more bubbles. Minefield. Lee, now standing up from the earlier explosion, saw the amount of bubbles on the field were close to 50 and Udaka was the back end of them and was still creating more. I'll have to close in on my enemy to land a hit and I'm going to have to stick low as the bubbles are in the middle of the air. Lee processed his plan and soon went in low. He managed to get past multiple bubbles until suddenly a bubble moved down and hit him right in the back. Sorry I forgot to mention I can move my bubbles, the bubble user said smirking. In theory Udaka could move all the bubbles onto Lee, but that requires a lot more chakra and it takes a lot of control, so only certain bubbles could move. Lee stood back up and put his arm under a bubble. Lee needed to get more information on his opponent's ability and if the bubble moved that meant he could move all bubbles most likely one at a time. However it didn't move meaning there's a different type of bubble. Seems like you figured it out but I'm not gonna let you do anything. Udaka said now blowing bubbles towards Lee forcing him to dodge. I now seeing the pinch his student was in was going to allow him to take off his weights. Lee. Guy said making Lee jump far away to dodge the bubbles. Yes. The smaller spandex wearer asked. Take them off he said, making Lee grin hopping to one of the statues and now revealing he had weights on and dropping them and the weights making two large craters, making Udaka wide-eyed. Lee got back down to the arena and started stretching. Man, this is great, I feel like a feather now. Lee said, stopping his stretching. Lee soon dived in through the bubbles immensely faster than last time, dodging all the moving bubbles and came in swinging his arm at Udakata, and it landed only for Udakata to disperse in bubbles. Bubble clone, Udakata said, panting as a bubble clone takes up a bunch of his chakra. This fight is definitely fanning my flames of youth and you are truly strong, the Taijutsu specialist said, now going back in for his onslaught of attacks. Udakata was doing his best to dodge as he knew in a Taijutsu battle he would lose 100% no doubt. Lee got in close this time and Udakata wasn't prepared and suffered a blow to the chin sending him upwards. Lee closed the distance and kept slamming Udakata with punches, then axe kicked him to the ground. The stance. This boy is amazing. I wonder what ninjutsu he has. Kurenai asked with wide eyes. He doesn't have the ability to use ninjutsu or because his coils are too small, so he focused on taijutsu and he became a master. Guy said calmly but made all the other sensei pity their students as they had another guy in their generation. Naruto, who will win? I think it's Lee. Shikamaru asked his blonde friend. Udakata said, eyes never leaving the fight. Any reason? Nara asked, to which he got no response. Arena. Lee was now panting with multiple bruises from the exploding bubbles. Udakata was in a slightly better shape than him but more or less the same. At the rate they were going it was going to be a tie. Most of the bubbles on the field were gone as Udakata could only hold a bubble for 5 minutes max. Lee soon went in again, but this time Udakata went at him head on, blocking Lee's strikes but getting hit himself, then quickly hit Lee in the heart area and jumped away. Lee tried to jump after but he couldn't move because he felt slippery and wet. He looked at his hands and saw they were encased in bubbles. Bubble encasing, Udakata said while keeping his hands in the boar hand sign. This is going to slowly drain your chakra and I doubt a genin can break it. I'm sorry to beat you in a way, but you're very strong. The Miss Genin said, disappointed in himself for using this jutsu. I guess I have to use my trump card. Lee thought. Hey, IMON gate of opening, Lee said and continued. Hey, YUMON gate of healing. He again continued. SEIMON gate of life. His skin became red. SHOMON gate of pain. Lee shouted, panting slightly. And finally, TOMON gate of limit. Now chakra flowing out of him and evaporating the bubble that was around him and all other bubbles on the field just with his chakra. Ugh, I'm going to have to use heat resistance bubbles now, Udakata said, annoyed as his reserves were at about a quarter left. The stance. You taught him the 8 gates. Kakashi said, disappointed in Guy. No, I don't regret it as it was my decision and I deem him worthy to use it. In a louder voice than Kakashi, making everyone return to the fight. The arena. You're the first person to push me this far in a long time and it's so much fun. Udakata shouted in happiness. Yosh, let's us continue our fight, Lee said, hitting Udakata, but his punch seemed to slip off and Udakata went in and punched Lee straight in the face. That was my bubble armor. It takes up almost all my chakra but I need it to survive against you. Udakata said, giving Lee the answer to his power. It's time to finish this. Lee went in, punching Udakata up, then hitting him down, then hitting him diagonally back in the air. He kept on pummeling Udakata until he reached his limit. After a few moments Lee soon started his final attack on the now bleeding Udakata. Hidden Lotus. Lee shouted, grabbing Udakata and slamming them onto the ground, making a huge dust cloud. Once the cloud disappeared there revealed an insane amount of bubbles on the floor, but they weren't exploding ones, they actually cushioned the crash. Udakata made these bubbles while Lee pummeling him in the air. Now Lee was all out of energy and Udakata was nearly done from the damage he sustained. Udakata now blew multiple bubbles at Lee that would kill him if he didn't surrender, as he couldn't move to dodge as he laid on the ground exhausted. Lee, my opponent, please give up, I have you checkmate. Udakata said, standing up, walking towards his opponent. I give up. Lee shouted, crying his eyes out because he couldn't prove to everyone that taijutsu was great. Lee looked up and saw a hand extending itself, this hand being Udakata's, which Lee grabbed. They both now stood together arm in arm. Winner Udakata, the proctor said, which ensued a round of applause from everyone there at the amazingly fraught battle of skill and determination. Chapter 11. The break. The last round of the preliminaries was Sakura against Ino, which Ino won by a close one. She had to use her new Earth-style Earth clone to beat them. Shikamaru just used a few clones and a substitution and trapped his opponent with shadow possession and won easily. Alright, so the winners of the preliminaries are Shino Aburam, Naruto Uzumaki, Gaara Sabaku, Temari Sabaku, Kiba Inyazuka, Kankuro Sabaku, Neji Hyuga, Udakata, Ino Yamanaka and Shikamaru Nara. All of the names I just called, please come to where I am and take a piece of paper out of these boxes. Then once you have them, please show them to me so I can write your matches on the board. Hayata said, holding a wooden box. All the genin took numbers and showed them to Hayata, who just wrote on a board. Alright, the first match will be Ino Yamanaka against Udaka, and then the second match will be Shikamaru against Neji Hyuga. Ino gulped at the fact she was going to be fighting against Udaka, who was way ahead of her, and she definitely needed to train with her sensei a lot. Second bracket will have 3 matches, and the first match will be Naruto Uzumaki against Kiba in Yuzuka, second will be Gaara Sabaku against Kankuro Sabaku, and the last match will be Temari Sabaku and Shino Aburam. Naruto was sad as he was going to face Kiba first, as he wanted to crush Gaara for hurting his friend. So the final rounds in a month will have these matchups. You might see it unfair as everyone has seen my abilities, or some people didn't show all their abilities. Well, many things in life are unfair, and what you should do is train to get new skills. You all may leave now and get adequate rest and come back for the final rounds in a month. The proctor said, making many walk away. Somewhere in the tower. Temari-chan. Came a shout from a blonde leaf genin who was running at her. "Hi Naruto-kun," she said to the now panting boy. "Do you want to go out? I know it's just after the matches, but we didn't really have any serious matches, so if you want to go I'm fine," he said with a grin, obviously trying to hide his misery. "Naruto followed me," she said, walking towards her room she used for the waiting period. He followed her, not wanting to upset her, as he found himself in her room while she was sitting on the bed patting a spot, signaling for him to sit next to her. She soon grabbed his head and put it to her lap. He quickly removed his head. I don't know what you're doing," but he was cut off as the same pair of hands put him back to her lap. "Just let all your emotions out. I know how it feels like for one of your close people to get hurt. I do hope you don't hate Gaara, as he does have a story like everyone, but right now the only comfort I can give you is this, and it is the only way I can think of letting you be free," she said. He flipped his head up to show a grin on his face, which slowly changed to a slight grin, to a normal face, to a frowning face, and then full out bawling his eyes out on her lap. All she could do was pat his back and let him let it all out. She knew how it felt like when someone close to you was hurt and you couldn't do anything, much like how she was with Gaara. She tried many times to get close to her brother, but her father would always make her distance herself from her little brother. 10 minutes passed, they were still in the same position, same situation, and Naruto was still crying his eyes out, but now fully accepting the comfort her lap was giving. Naruto wanted to stop crying, but he had heard about Choji from a doctor and heard he wasn't going to be a ninja anymore and knew it would crush the Akimichi heir, as his goal in life was to protect those he loved and become a great Akimichi clan head and show the world his clan was great. An hour passed, the crying turned into soft sobs, and soon he flat out passed out. She hated seeing him like this because she didn't know that when she heard he was hurt in the forest of death, she instantly felt a piece of her heart was gone. Now she just felt useless. She soon lay him down on the bed, letting him rest, and she just sat next to where he lay unconscious, watching his sleeping form like a hawk. 2 hours passed. Naruto's eyes fluttered open, but he didn't know where he was. He started to piece things together until he felt a grunt to his right. He turned his head and saw a mop of blonde hair similar to his, and when he realized whose hair it was he instantly jumped out of the bed. The hair was Temari's and he was sleeping in a bed with her. Putting all the pieces together, he realized she offered him comfort, which he obviously accepted. "How long have I been unconscious, Kurama?" he asked the deity in his belly. 2 hours and one thing, never let that girl go, she is probably the best thing that happened to you. She really is the best, he thought to himself. Soon he sat there like she did for him, however this time he stayed awake and 30 minutes passed until her eyes fluttered open. "Nice nap, Temari-chan?" he asked, making her open her eyes and see that the blonde she was taking care of was awake. "When did you wake up and are you feeling better?" she asked. "I'm fine thanks to you, and I woke up about 30 minutes ago I think," he said, while grabbing her hand, fully awoken her and dragging her out of the room. "Where are we going?" she asked, trying to keep up with his pace. "To that date, duh," he said as if it were obvious. He soon led her to the Chiraku's and they had a wonderful time together. The father-daughter work combo teased Naruto by telling Temari all sorts of embarrassing details of his childhood, which simply made her laugh. They did an eating contest which Naruto easily won with a score of 34, which made Temari feel like dying at the end. "That was fun, Temari-chan, we should do that next time," the blonde said, making the other blonde gag. Naruto just chuckled at the antics of his blonde companion. Unbeknownst to the blondes, they were being watched by 2 perverts. Seems like the kid has found his Kushina, white-haired tall man who wore a kimono and mesh armor. "Yes, Jiraiya-sama, that girl definitely reminds me of Kushina. Seems like Naruto is a lot like his father at choices for women," Kakashi said. "Yes, and I wonder if she will have jugs as big as Kushina as well," the man now known as Jiraiya said with a perverse grin. "Jiraiya-sama," Kakashi said in a more serious tone. "He is definitely talented, but I feel he can reach his full potential under you, and I wish I could train him, but the council wants me to train Sasuke. I'm sorry to push Naruto off you, but please train him like you trained Sensei." The masked man said, bowing at Jiraiya. Kakashi, no need to bow. I would probably have trained him anyway even if you didn't ask me, but thank you for giving me your permission. The Sennin sage said. I'll approach him in about 3 days. Until then I'm going to be doing some things for my spy network, so just tell him to rest because my training regimen is going to be hard, so just give him his rest for now. Jiraiya said, disappearing in a swirl of leaves. Might as well do it while that girl is around so she can keep him in check, the thought, also using a shunshin. So one time Naruto was cut off as he saw the form of his sensei entering Ichiraku's. Yo Naruto, I knew I would find you here. He said with a wave. Oh Kakashi-sensei, can you train me tomorrow please, Naruto said using puppy dog eyes. Naruto, I won't be training you, I have to train Sasuke, but I found an even more amazing teacher than me. The teacher I found for you is probably the strongest shinobi under the Leaf Village. Kakashi said, now not wanting to say what he was going to say. Naruto took a rest for 3 days. Your sensei won't come until then, so just take a break from all your intense training. No, it's not fair, Sasuke gets training and I don't get any from you, and I have to wait for he was cut off as he got smacked in the head by a fist from a blonde to his left. Naruto-kun, listen to your sensei please. She said in a sweet yet definitely monster voice. Okay, he squeaked out. Seems this girl has a tight lock on my blonde jean, and Kakashi taught, smirking under his mask at the young love. Well, I guess that settles it, so I'm not forbidding you from training, but just train at least 3 times less. Kakashi said before using a shunshin. Well, I guess that's that, and I won't be training for a while, will you be free tomorrow? He asked, hoping he wouldn't be alone tomorrow. Yeah, I'm free tomorrow, Naruto-kun, she said like she was talking to a child. Now let's go home, she said before grabbing his hand and walking out of the store. Seems our Naruto has grown into a fine man, Tucci said before chuckling. Yes, he has, that girl is perfect for him even if she is older than him. AM thought, reminiscing about the first crush she had and still has. Somewhere in Konoha. Naruto and Temari were walking hand in hand in a comfortable silence as friends. Many people sent glares to them, but Temari already got over it but still didn't know why they did it. Temari-chan, Naruto said, breaking the silence. Thank you for what you did earlier. What do you mean? All I did was let you use my lap as a pillow. She said calmly. I don't know, but I just felt like I could let out all my feelings there and then thank you. I have forgotten about revenge as that was all I thought at that time. I still will have that feeling in me as I'm human, as your brother probably didn't have to do that, but like you said, everyone has a story. He said. It completely shocked her, as no one had actually accepted Gaara. By the way, I'm the same as Gaara, he said in a mysterious tone which made her mind run a mile a second. She had just gotten a clue to find out why Naruto was hated. When she found a logical solution, her eyes widened. Then Naruto, are you a Jinchuriki? She asked, to which she got a simple nod. Do you hate me now? If you do, it's okay, I understand. He said in disappointment as he heard silence. Temari wasn't silent because she hated Naruto, nor was she silent because of what he said, making her feel so sad for the boy. No, I still like you, Naruto. I think being a has only increased my respect for you. You have to deal with all this shit and you don't even care and live your life as happily as you can be. She said, squeezing his arm tighter in her grip. She soon started hearing drops that got increasingly more often and she turned her head to gaze at her blonde friend. Her friend was crying tears of joy and happiness that someone accepted him for who he was, just like Iruka-sensei, the third Hokage, and Kakashi-sensei. Thank you, Temari-chan, he said, rubbing his tears away. They continued to walk in silence, feeling more at ease with themselves. Naruto didn't know why he told her he just felt like he should at that point. Well, this is my hotel, Temari said, stopping the walk and turning towards her friend. Thanks for walking me here. I hope you feel better about your friend. She soon pulled him into an embrace and pecked him on the cheek. Bye, he managed to stutter out at the leaving form of Temari. His face was a shade of red that made tomatoes look pale. Maybe me and Temari-chan being a couple ain't bad, do you think we would work a Kurama? Naruto asked, starting to get thoughts about his friend as more than a friend. Did I've been telling you since the Forest of Death she is the best thing that happened to you and you should seize the opportunity. Me and Temari-chan as a couple, Naruto's son kept thinking about it and blushed at some of his thoughts. Maybe I should try it. Chapter 12. The Sage appears. It's been 3 days since Naruto had taken his rest and now was waiting at his home for his new sensei. He mostly worked on reading Taijutsu scrolls and chakra control. During the night, he would go out with Temari and they would just walk around the village. Naruto thought about asking Temari on a date, but he never knew if she liked him like that. His tenant called him a wuss and he just blocked off the connection. Kakashi said that his new sensei would come around 12 and now it was 1. Needless to say, he was getting very tired of senseis that came late. He was just working on his chakra control until he heard a knock on the door, and before the person could knock again, Naruto opened it. His gaze met one of the people who wanted to meet the most. Jiraiya is a level 10 seal master. Are you my sensei Jiraiya-sama? He asked politely. Oh yeah kid, I'm your sensei, alright. Now go. He was cut off when Naruto replied. Jiraiya-sensei, please teach me taijutsu please. I need to work on those, the most Naruto asked in the most polite voice he never even knew he had. Jiraiya didn't know what to say. He was going to teach the blind how to use the Kyuubi's chakra, but it might not be so bad. Kid, I'll teach you that only after you can do the summoning. The sage said, taking the scroll on his back off and unrolling it. You're giving me the toad contract. The blonde shouted out in sheer happiness and shock. Yay, I need someone else to take care of the toads when I go, so who better than my new apprentice? He said in a calm tone. Before he was tackled to the ground by his apprentice. Thank you Jiraiya-sensei, he said, still hugging the man tightly. Arg, get off kid, I only let girls do this to me, struggling to get the blonde of him. Naruto soon got off Jiraiya. He signed the toad contract and Jiraiya explained that he could only have the toad contract unless under special circumstances. Naruto then started the hand signs for the or dog bird monkey ram. Summoning, Naruto exclaimed, smashing his hand on the ground. In a puff of smoke a small frog appeared close to a toad, but not the right one. But first try kid. We will work on this until you can give someone a battle-ready toad. Your chakra might not be enough, so use some of the Kyuubi's chakra, the sage said. No, I only use the Kyuubi's chakra when it's needed to save a friend. This is a nice boost, but I don't want to depend on it. Like the saying goes, don't put all your eggs in one basket. I am fine with training it. I can right now use version 1, one tail of chakra more or less fine. The blonde said simply but definitely, saying I will not do it. You don't have to worry about me learning the Kyuubi's chakra from you, the Kyuubi is already teaching me, but he still wants to escape, which I don't blame him. All these words left Jiraiya shocked that the Kyuubi no Kitsune was actually teaching his jailer. Okay, whatever you say kid, now follow me, we're going to the training grounds, Jiraiya said, walking out of the blonde's apartment. Naruto soon followed in tow towards wherever Jiraiya was headed. The waterfall somewhere in Konoha. Alright, this is gonna be our training ground, every day I want you to come here at 12 and start training. I'm not sure when I will come, but just keep training until I come. Jiraiya said, now switching his gaze towards the waterfall. Now for some research, he said, chuckling pervertedly. Did you come here just to do research for your dirty books? Naruto asked, slightly annoyed. Oh, so you know of my books, eh? And yes, this is valuable research, and I must use it to my advantage, Jiraiya said, turning his gaze back to the waterfall, this time completely ignoring Naruto. Work on the summoning. Naruto followed his sensei's words and started working on summoning. For most of the day it worked like this. Naruto was getting closer and closer to a battle-ready toad. He did manage to summon a red toad called Gamakichi, who he made friends with and spent the rest of the day with Naruto. In the end, the best toad he summoned was a purple medium-sized toad, but it couldn't fight. Kid, that's enough for today. Go home and rest. It's almost 7, so take a break for today, Jiraiya said, dismissing the blonde. Naruto soon took Gamakichi to hang out and went to Ichiraku's. Hey Nai-san, Naruto heard as he entered the shop to see Konohamaru, his favorite little kid. Oh hey Konohamaru, you see this toad? Well, he is Gamakichi, and Gamakichi, this is Konohamaru. The blonde introduced each other. Hey, I also call Naruto Nai-san, so I guess we're like brothers together, Gamakichi said, chuckling playfully. Yay, let's all eat ramen together, the food of gods, Naruto said, placing orders. The rest of the day Naruto just hung out with his younger brothers and they had much fun together, and Naruto enjoyed the companionship of his new friend in Gamakichi. When it was getting late, Naruto decided to call it a night and just rested. Time skip 3 days. The waterfall. Yada. Naruto shouted, which startled Jiraiya, who almost fell over the cliff they were on. What's up kid? The sage asked. I summoned a toad who can battle, to see what, he said, gesturing towards an orange toad next to him. Yes Jiraiya-sama, I can battle, the toad said calmly. Well, good job kid, I'll teach you how to do it now, and also Taijutsu Suo. How far are you? the sage asked. Well, I'm able to make my own exploding tags that are twice as potent as the normal ones, and I have perfect calligraphy, but I can't do any complex seals. The seals I really want to do right now are resistance and gravity seals, so I can increase my speed in Taijutsu, but besides that I don't really know much, the blonde replied, disappointed in his ability. That's pretty good if you think for yourself. I'll teach you how to make gravity seals and resistance seals, but don't use gravity seals until you reach at least LVL 6 of resistance seals, and until then just wait till LVL 8 to make sure it's safe. Jiraiya said, sitting on the ground, showing the blonde what he needed to do, and Naruto soon made nearly 200 clones. That shocked Jiraiya. Kid, you can make this many clones. I guess you're gonna use them for training, right? The sage asked. Yes, and half of them are gonna be test subjects for the seals in case something goes wrong. The blonde said, to which he got a nod. Naruto soon started getting to work. Jiraiya told him that LVL-1 gravity seals weigh slightly more than a ton. Resistant seals LVL-1 weigh around 10 kilos, so I should start with LVL-3 resistant seals once I can make them. By the end of the day he could make LVL-1 resistant seals, but not gravity seals, and he would work until he could make LVL-10 resistant seals and LVL-2 gravity seals. Then he would just work on Taijutsu as that's what he needed the most. Time skip a week. Somewhere in Konoha. Hiro Senin, where are we going? A blonde asked. Stop calling me that, and we are going to finish your wind-style training. The sage replied. You can't mean. The blonde asked, shocked at what Jiraiya was suggesting. Yes, I have someone who can make a waterfall for you with a place to do the exercise. His name is Tenzu and he is a wood-style user and he has the ability to use it because he was an experiment of Orochimaru. The blonde nodded, not needing to ask any questions as he was going to finish his wind-style training. By the way, how are your seals going? Oh, I got LVL-15 resistant seals I can make, but I can only use LVL-5 and I can make LVL-3 gravity seals and I want to make it to LVL-100 of resistant seals before I move to gravity seals, and also that I learned that gravity seals hurt your growth rate and I also started working on my other seals. Jiraiya nodded proudly that his apprentice was moving fast, but he would never admit that. Oh, I also summoned Gamabunta, Naruto said with a smirk at how his sensei tensed up. Let's just go to the training grounds, Naruto just chuckled at his sensei's antics. Training ground number 25. Hey Tenzu, so did you do it? The sage asked the panting Anbu. Yes, Jiraiya-sama, he managed to spit out in between pants. Alright Naruto, go train your wind style. I know you're done with fire style, so just do wind style, and I know you want to finish early, so just do this for 2 hours, then you're done. Thank you Jiraiya-sensei. Konoha's hotel district. Naruto was walking through the hotel district not receiving as many glasses since many foreigners were in town for the exams. He was walking this path to meet his favorite foreigner Temari and he was going to hang out with her brother Kankuro as well. Hey Naruto-kun, he heard and turned his gaze towards the form of Temari waving at him and he dashed towards it. Hi Temari-chan, you too Kankuro. Hi, just so you know I didn't want to come. The puppeteer said. So you guys got a place you wanna go? The blonde asked, to which Temari nodded and started to lead the way. She also grabbed his hand. Geez, what is so special about that kid, why does Temari like him? Kankuro thought, not understanding why she liked him. They soon reached a diner that sold many different kinds of dishes. Obviously Naruto tried to order ramen, but he got a punch to his head for that and he had to order sushi. They sat on one side of the table while Kankuro sat on the other side. So how have you guys been training? The blonde asked, trying to make some small chat. I don't think we're gonna tell you our ability, Kankuro said, chuckling. Temari, can you follow me to do something? The Sand Genin asked, trying to get his sister away from the blonde. But Kankuro? She said in a slightly annoyed voice. Why are you getting so close to him? He asked, slightly concerned about their plans. Don't worry, I won't do anything that will change your plans, she said calmly but inside getting torn up. I'm worried for you, you act a lot more different around him. Kankuro said, but his sister didn't respond. Temari, I know I don't have the right to pry in your life, but if this affects our invasion, then I will have to tell father. The blonde's face immediately turned to anger at her brother. Don't speak of him in front of me. She exclaimed just below the point that Naruto wouldn't hear them. Just trust me, I won't do anything to disrupt the plans, I just want to spend time with him before it ends, she said, holding back the tears stinging her eyes. Now let's go back please, Kankuro obliged to her request, not wanting to hurt her anymore. So what did you guys talk about? The blonde asked when they arrived to the table. Oh, we just talked about your friend, the chubby one, and she told me you're okay with it, Kankuro replied. Yeah, at first I was really mad, but I eventually realized there's a story to every person. Soon the three of them just ate in a comfortable silence, and when they were done Naruto just left and bid him farewell. Kankuro and Temari just went straight to their hotel in silence, and Temari just went straight to her room. Kankuro listened into her room and her sobs, and he felt his heart break. Kankuro entered his own room not wanting to disturb his sister. Kankuro, where were you? Tell me or I will kill you. Gaara said in a stoic voice. I went to eat nothing big. He said, sweating nervously. Gaara didn't respond, so he just went to the bed still sweating, but calmed down after a while. Naruto's home. Naruto was waiting at his home preparing to sleep. Before he did sleep he went to his mind and wanted to train with Kurama to get 2 tails of version 1 cloak ready to use. Hey Naruto. Kurama, help me please, I got 1 tail down, but I need 2 tails now. The blonde asked in a pleading tone. Sure thing kid, now just try to pull 2 tails of my chakra. Naruto did as told and he got two tails behind him. I see, can't control it, I'm gonna go out of control, he spit it out. Just keep maintaining it for as long as possible. Naruto could only hold on for 2 minutes until it went away and he dropped to the ground exhausted. Why can't I control the chakra even with your blessing? 1. You have evil thoughts even if you don't realize it. 2. I don't give you full blessing, I just let you use my chakra. If I really let you, you would have tailed beast mode and could transform into me. Why does everything have to be so hard, the blonde said to his tenant while jumping back up. Just keep doing it for 2 hours, then just rest up. The blonde did what he was told and he did keep increasing the time he could hold it and he was going for a solid 10 minutes before he started fighting shadow clones using it. I wonder if this kid will be the one who does it, I wish my father was alive. If he was alive no wars would happen, the thought as he watched his jailer train. Chapter 13 Preliminaries start. It was a fine day in Konoha for young Sasuke. He was always praised by all the villagers and he was treated like a prince in Konoha. Sasuke was the polar opposite to Naruto in many ways. Naruto craved attention, Sasuke got attention but wanted it to go away. Naruto craved companionship, Sasuke got companionship thrust upon him. Sasuke in many ways was what Naruto wanted to be besides having to stick up his ass. Sasuke was now wondering how the blonde, dead last of his class was able to beat him. Sasuke trained, he trained more than the average person his age should, but somehow he got completely mopped by Naruto. The Uchiha was now going to a training location to train with his sensei Kakashi, even though it seemed that the masked man did not want to train him. Alright Sasuke, we are going to learn about chakra control and speed. Kakashi said like he was talking to a child. Teach me strong like the techniques the dope used, Sasuke said in a commanding tone. Well, even if I knew how to do those techniques I probably wouldn't teach you cause it's his and he is the only one who has permission to pass them on. Teach me any that will destroy the dope. Sasuke, right now you're a flight risk for the village. I'm gonna be honest, I didn't want to train you, but I have to because the council forced me. Now do you want to accept my training or not? Sasuke, albeit annoyed that Kakashi wanted to train Naruto, knew that he had to follow Kakashi as no one else was willing to train him, so he just nodded reluctantly. But now wear these weights and start doing this training regimen, Kakashi said, handing Sasuke a slip of paper which he scanned through quickly. 25 laps around the training ground. 250 sit-ups. 250 push-ups. 500 kicks on the log with each leg. 500 punches on the log with each hand. Are you crazy? This training regimen is insane. Sasuke exclaimed as it was nearly 4 times harder than his normal regimen. Sasuke, Naruto does nearly 10 times harder stuff than that with heavier weights than you said, which made the genin quickly get to work. This is gonna be a long week, Kakashi thought while reading his book. Team 10 Training Grounds. Alright Ino and Shikamaru. I won't be able to train both of you so I will train mainly. Shikamaru Ino started to pout that she wasn't going to get training. Don't worry, I have Kurenai coming here to train you and she will be here any minute. Ino's face brightened that she was going to be learning with the mistress of Konoha. Asuma-sensei, doesn't Kurenai-sensei have to train her team? Nara asked curiously. I don't have to train my team because they are training with their clans, a voice from behind him said, and it was Kurenai as she had just sunshine there. Kurenai-sensei. Come on, let's go train now. Ino exclaimed, grabbing Kurenai and bringing her to another side of the training grounds. I wonder how she will feel when she isn't going to learn, Asuma said chuckling. Why won't she learn, the Nara heir asked again, quite curious. She won't learn because her first opponent Udaka is a human sacrifice. Shikamaru motioned to continue as he still didn't understand. Do you know the 9-tailed beasts? Shikamaru nodded. Well, Udaka has the 6 tails inside him and any you use on him will just get nullified because of it. Shikamaru's eyes widened and his eyes popped out of his eye sockets. The ears went turning in Nara's head. He had just gotten the biggest clue ever and he started to piece everything together for the biggest mystery in his life. Naruto is the Kyuubi Jinchuriki. Shikamaru exclaimed, shocked was an understatement for the emotion he was feeling right now. Leave it to you to figure it out with just that. Yes, and calm down, you can't tell everyone, only Naruto has the right or the Hokage. Shikamaru nodded, calming himself down. Are you still gonna be his friend? Asuma asked, to which Shikamaru vigorously nodded his head, to which Asuma could only chuckle. Shikamaru always seemed lazy, but whenever it came to Naruto he was always active. Now no point dwelling on that. Let's continue your training. Asuma said as he charged Nara. Somewhere in Konoha. Sakura was trying to find out where Naruto was, not because she wanted to help him or anything, no, she wanted to find him to figure out how to help her Sasuke defeat the blonde. She didn't know how the blonde got so strong, but she knew she was going to follow him so she could help her Sasuke get stronger. She had heard Naruto was at a training ground somewhere in Konoha, so she was now heading there. Once she arrived at the training ground, Naruto saw him standing on a beam putting his hands against a waterfall. "Naruto," she shouted, breaking the blonde's concentration and turning his gaze towards her. Naruto jumped off the beam and started heading towards his teammate. "Hey Sakura, what's up?" the blonde asked casually. "What training are you doing?" she asked in a more forced casual voice. I'm doing the final stages of wind chakra training and I have to cut the waterfall." He wondered why Sakura was asking him about training. "Well, do you mind if I watch?" she asked, to which he shook his head. "Thanks, so you can just proceed doing it normally." He nodded and soon got on the beam and made his shadow clones, which her eyes widened. Is that how Naruto is so strong? She wondered, as she being the nerd she knew almost all ninjutsu there was in Konoha. "Naruto, you feel it right?" Kyuubi asked its jailer. "Yeah, she is exhibiting quite a fair bit of negative energy just for a visit." "Just let her be, she isn't doing anything harmful." Naruto mentally nodded towards his tenant. Sakura was amazed that Naruto actually dented the waterfall. She counted there being nearly 75 clones in total and 25 on each beam. She was amazed that Naruto could do all this and not seem a little bit exhausted. After an hour, Sakura was getting bored not seeing anything that would help her Sasuke-kun. Naruto soon decided to take a slight break and got off the beams, leaving his clones, and he picked up his clothes and walked towards Sakura. "Sakura, wanna go get some ramen? I'm a little hungry and I'll pay," the blonde asked, not wanting to eat alone. "Sure." Naruto led the way, she replied, following the blonde. "Ichiraku's." "Naruto, why don't you ask her now?" The blonde nodded after finishing his 13th bowl of ramen while Sakura was still on her second only. Sakura said, making him have her attention. "I know you didn't come to just watch me train," he said, making her sweat nervously. "I don't know what you're talking about." She cursed that she had stuttered slightly. "Sakura is a censor and I can sense negative emotions. When you came to watch me train I could clearly sense your malice, so what is the real reason you wanted to watch me, and don't try lying since I'll know it," he said in a calm voice, but leaking a bit of killer intent to intimidate her. Sakura didn't want to reveal why she was there, so as she was about to start talking she bolted out of the store. Naruto just sighed and told AM to put the food on his tab. Sakura was running away as fast as she could to her home, as she knew Naruto had no ride in her home, so it was safe from him. She was just about home until Naruto suddenly appeared in front of her, stopping her right in her tracks. "Now Sakura, I will ask again, why did you come to watch me train?" he asked, leaking a much more potent killer intent that made many civilians around the area run into their homes. Luckily for Sakura, her mother had come outside to see what all the commotion was about. Sakura got away from him and Naruto cursed his luck, but it didn't really matter. "You demon filth, stay away from my Sakura unless you're on mission," she hissed. "I'm sorry, ma'am. It's just that your daughter ran away from me when I asked her a question," he replied calmly, not even afraid of the woman in front of her being the civilian council leader. "If she doesn't want to answer your question, just leave her alone," she exclaimed, walking away with Sakura in hand. "I don't know why you don't just kill them and end it." "It's because if I did I would have to go outside the walls for murder," Naruto replied, a little annoyed at how dumb the Kyuubi was sometimes. Just forget about her, go learn your taijutsu and hone it. There's only a week left and your sensei already left you." The blonde nodded as his tenant was right. Only 5 days left and he had to finish his taijutsu style that countered Gaara, but he had to go somewhere before he could train again. A place he only visited 3 times the whole month. The hospital. There weren't many nurses or doctors in the hospital at this time. Gaara was sneaking around it unnoticed, heading towards Choji's room. Choji was broken, he had heard that he wouldn't be a ninja again, but he didn't give up and he started training again, but the nurses said he wasn't in any shape, but he would keep training through the pain. Gaara was now nearing the room of the Akimichi, who was resting. He was now in the room and crawling all around Choji, about to crush him and kill him for good. Gaara was about to crush Choji until he couldn't move. Shadow possession. Success, Shikamaru stated in the entrance of the room with Naruto. "You bastard. What were you doing?" Naruto shouted, holding back his urge to pummel Gaara for nearly killing his friend. "I was merely killing him to prove my existence," Gaara said in a stoic voice with zero life in his eyes. Naruto lost all his anger. Gaara was just like him, but he had no one. Naruto could have easily turned into Gaara, but he had friends. "I swear I will beat you, but not out of revenge or anything, but to set your ways right. You say to fight for yourself and I say fight for your comrades," the blind side making Gaara grin psychotically. "Uzumaki. I shall kill you, and I promise you I won't kill this one, but in exchange I will kill you in 5 days. Be ready and provide me entertainment," Gaara said, chuckling evilly while walking away. "Do you have a plan for him?" Shikamaru asked, worried as Gaara broke his shadow possession like nothing. "Oh, I have not just a plan, I have a complete counter to his defense. I read all the books about his magnet style and I have a complete counter," he said confidently, and Shikamaru just placed his fate in his blonde friend. They soon sat there watching Choji for the whole day, scared that Gaara would come back. 5-day time skip. Junin exams arena. All the participants of the exams were at the arena. These genin were fighting for the rank of, and Naruto felt something was off. There were nearly 100 sources of malice, and they were more of a killer's malice. Naruto knew that some people might want death, but 100 of them were irregular, so once he got the chance he would go tell the third about it. Alright kids, I'm your proctor. Genma and Hate had something come up, so I'm going to be the proctor, and remember the rules are no killing and no blows that will paralyze your opponent, and everything else goes. The proctor said to all his competitors. Ino, Yamanaka and Udaka stay while everyone goes up there, he said while pointing to a private stand. Naruto, instead of going there, he went to the cage box that held the Hokage and Kazekage. Naruto came up and whispered what he knew to the Hokage. The Hokage soon whispered to Naruto. I know, the Kazekage next to me is Orochimaru, but I can't do anything, so what I want you to do is inform the academy to get prepared for evacuation and tell everyone you can find your shadow clones, okay? The Hokage said, which made the blonde wide-eyed, but nodded and soon went to a private location somewhere in the stadium. He chose one of the hallways which people took to get to their seats. Naruto made nearly 500 clones and made them all use the transformation so no one would get confused, and he sent his clones everywhere in the village to let them be ready. Meanwhile at the stadium, the battle of Ino and Udaka had started, and many said it would be an easy win for the Mist Nin, but many were definitely proven wrong. Chapter 14. Genius no more. Udaka and Ino at the moment were in their battle stances. Many people expect them to win, and the odds for betting are 501. Hajim. Genma shouted, being heard throughout the entire arena. Udaka backed up to start his game of bubbles. The Jinchuriki's specialty is long drawn-out battles, as he can set up a lot of bubbles, so a long drawn-out fight would be much more helpful for him. Ino knew she couldn't do or her mind transfer as told by Kurenai, so all she could do was Taijutsu and Ninjutsu, but if Lee at 5 gates open couldn't beat him in Taijutsu, then there was no way she could. She had all but mastered her Earth style, so that was all she could do, so she did have a way of fighting Udaka in Taijutsu. Earth style stone fist, Ino exclaimed, her hand turning into a large fist of stone. The mistress told the Yamanaka that Udaka's bubbles were water style, so her earth style would be very effective against it. Page box. It seems wise to use earth style, definitely the thought was put into that, the Hokage said to the silent Kazekage. Arena. Ino was now charging full speed towards Udaka, who was surprised at how fast she was moving, since she was moving at him as fast as Lee was with his weights. She moved past all the bubbles relatively quickly by smashing her fists into the bubbles or dodging them. Udaka is now dodging the onslaught of attacks from the Yamanaka, trying to get away. As he got away, he started his hand signs for one of the stronger water styles. Water style. Water Dragon Jutsu. A large dragon with blue color dashed towards Ino. The Yamanaka did her own hand signs and called her Earth style. Earth Dragon Jutsu. She amazed the audience with her mastery of Earth style at such a young age. In a beautiful battle, both dragons collide, water and rocks of the Earth Dragon going everywhere. Eventually both dragons died out and came Ino again, not letting Udaka get any rest. Ino was getting tired fast at the fact she had to keep her hand stone for such a long time, and she only landed 3 clean hits. She pulled back and started her next. Summoning Jutsu, the blonde shouted, smacking her hand on the ground. In a puff of smoke appeared Ino summon an eagle. Hey, we're Shichikik, I need some help on this guy since he is really tough. Ino asked her eagle friend. Sure thing, Ino-sama, the eagle said, then soon dashed towards Udaka. Earth style. Earth Beak Barrage with Shichikik exclaimed, firing its beaks at the now having to dodge them and Ino's rampage. The audience stands. Kakashi just arrived in a shunshin with Sasuke in hand. Hey sensei, I said. So did you train Sasuke to be stronger than Naruto? She asked, making the masked man wince slightly. Sakura, I am meant to make my students stronger, not to make them stronger to beat one person. He said calmly with a slight edge to it that Sakura didn't notice. Sasuke-kun said in a fangirlish tone. Naruto has to fight Kiba, who should be easy, but I bet if you fought him again he would get destroyed. Shut up. He exclaimed, making a few of the people nearby gaze at him, then turn back to the fight. Well, anyway, how is Ino doing? Kakashi said, trying to break the tension. She is doing fine against that Udaka guy, but I think she will lose since she hasn't landed a critical blow and she is running out of chakra fast, Sakura said, explaining the match soon after. Ino is impressive, holding her own against the said happiness. The next generation is gonna be strong. A Jinchuriki? Sakura asked, interested what that might be, as she wanted to make Sasuke if he could be as strong as that Udaka guy. Kakashi just waved her off, not answering her questions, but just watched the fight intently. Arena. I must admit I wasn't expecting this much of a challenge. I applaud you since you actually pushed me quite a bit, but long drawn out battles like this are great for me, and I'm pretty sure you know about my status since you haven't used your clan technique, Udaka said as he was now at a safe distance from Ino. I can tell you're exhausted since you're panting heavily and I have more than a quarter of my chakra left. This left Ino wide-eyed wondering how someone could have so much chakra. I truly think you are a strong opponent, but please just forfeit since we both know you will lose. Ino closed her eyes and raised her hand. I have 4 feet, she said reluctantly. Udaka soon appeared in front of her using a water shunshin. You were one of the strongest people I ever faced. Let's do it again sometime. Udaka said with a smile, a real happy smile as he extended his hand towards the blonde. Ino could only smile back and take his hand as they both disappeared with a water shunshin to the contestant stands. Winner. Udaka, will contestants Neji Hyuga and Shikamaru Nara come to the arena? Both contestants appeared rather quickly on the stage, glaring at each other. What you did to Hinata was wrong, and I know all about your hatred for the main branch, but it's not fair to Hinata as she has done nothing wrong. Shikamaru stated in a serious voice while leaking killer intent. Many of the civilians in the audience shivered at the killing intent both contestants leaked, showing this fight was going to be a strong one. Genma could see there was bad blood and started the match not wanting to prolong it any longer. As the match started, Shika charged in using the same Ino did to make her fist stone. It was one of the only lessons both of them learned since Kurenai thought it might help him. Neji was caught off guard and he had to use the one he wanted to save for earlier. AAITEN rotation, the prodigy started spinning in a 360 degrees, sending chakra out of all his chakra points. As Shikamaru's first collision, the shards of his fist started bursting. Shikamaru saw that Kaiten was going to win and backed up, starting to strategize in his mind of all the possible Neji might know, since he did know Kaiten. Shikamaru decided it would probably be best if he stayed out of Neji's taijutsu range, since he might have the main branch offensive technique. Shikamaru started his hand signs and roared fire-style fireball, a massive fireball launched at the Hyuga. Stance. Asuma and Kurenai were sitting together, shocked at how determined Shikamaru was at beating Neji. They never saw Nara passionate about anything since he was known for being lazy. Page box. Hokage Dono, it seems that one knows when to back off and what to do. As for his plans for me, I think he would be very strong, the Kazekage stated. I think you are right, Kazekage Dono Hiruzen said, nodding. Arena. The fireball was closing in towards Neji, who started his rotation, breaking the fireball. His mistake was stopping his rotation, as once the old fireball dispersed another came right at him. He got a few burn marks but stopped it. Until he couldn't move. He started struggling to move, but he couldn't. Don't even bother, I have you under shadow possession, Nara said, now back to his lazy tone. When? Neji demanded an explanation. The fireball created a shadow. I knew you would use your Kaiten to block the first one, since you were so proud of showing it off. So I made 2 and they both extended my shadow long enough to reach you. It's really simple when I break it down like that, and I'm pretty surprised you fell for it since you're a so-called prodigy, Shikamaru said, infuriating the prodigy. Proctor called the match, I got him, it can only go downhill from here. Genma nodded in understanding. Winner. Shikamaru Nara. We will take a 10-minute break to rest up, then continue on with the second bracket. The crowd applauded Shikamaru and cheered for him at how he defeated the Hyuga prodigy. I can't believe I lost, it was fate for me to win. Neji mumbled to himself. Neji, don't believe in fate. The only fate we all have is death. Everything else you can change and make into what you want, Shikamaru said. Then again, Naruto changed his fate, so if he can, I assume you can since you're a prodigy, the Nara said, chuckling while walking away. Can I really change my fate and be free? Neji wondered as he looked up to the sky and saw the birds. Meanwhile in Konoha. Naruto's clones were telling all the shinobi they could find about the invasion, and most did not believe him until he showed them the Hokage's signature and started preparing for the war that was coming in minutes. A lot of the civilians, such as children and elderly, were already moved to the shelters. Shinobi were at the walls prepared for an attack, but not showing it off as they wanted the element of surprise of being ready. Naruto had also sent a clone to Jiraiya, who he heard was coming home soon. If he knew Jiraiya right, then he would probably be on the way home at a walking pace, but they needed him home fast. The lives that were going to be lost were going to be significantly reduced thanks to the blonde. The original was still at the stadium, slowly getting reports from his clones. Naruto had told most of the shinobi out of the stadium, but he couldn't do it in the stadium without arousing suspicion. The blonde told his senseis about the invasion and hoped they could spread the news without alerting enemy shinobi. Hey Anbu, Genma whispered towards Anbu in a cloak. There's going to be an invasion, so tell all the shinobi you can, but make sure you don't alert the enemy, Gemma said, soon jumping towards another Anbu. They found out, I guess we will have to speed up the invasion towards the end of the first round during the break, Kabuto thought, smirking under his mask at the blunder the Leaf just made. Chapter 15 Power of the Heiken. Will Naruto, Uzumaki and Kiba Inuzuka please proceed to the arena as heard throughout the arena by the speakers. Many civilians and shinobi alike definitely expected the demon brat to lose against a clan heir like Kiba. Kiba and Naruto were fairly similar in the academy, aside from the fact Kiba was a clan heir. Now standing in the middle of the arena with the attention of the audience were the clan heir and the dead last. You're going to go down, Naruto, Kiba exclaimed with a smirk. We shall see, the blonde states, which infuriated Kiba. Genma started the battle and to Kiba's surprise the blonde just stood there without his guard up, which made Kiba angry. The Inuzuka charged and fist cocked back to hit the blonde, but to Kiba's surprise the blonde just idled his head. Kiba, I wanna show everyone my new Taijutsu style, but it might hurt, are you okay with that? The blonde had to dodge a series of punches as he finished his sentence. I'll take that as a yes, Naruto said, leaping away from Kiba, who was panting slightly from exhaustion. Kiba, be glad you're the first I'm using this against, it took me a while to get it down, but I admit it's definitely a strong ability. I bet it's not even a good technique, my fang over fang would destroy any technique you make, he said in an arrogant tone. Alright, Naruto said calmly. The blonde lifted his arms to the side Heiken. Naruto shouted as both his arms lit up in flames, entirely covering both his arms, which made everyone go wide-eyed. The stance. Amazing, Kakashi, did you teach him that? Guy asked his eternal rival. I don't even know how he is doing that, he has to have such a strong affinity for fire to even try that. Kakashi said, gazing at his blonde student in amazement. Sensei, why is that so amazing? All he did was light his arm on fire. Sakura asked, oblivious as always. Sakura, Naruto is right now using a bastardized version of the 4th Raikage's lightning armor, only this time it's with fire. The amount of skill needed to even be able to do that is easily Kage level. Every genin present went wide-eyed at the statement that the dead last was able to create a jutsu of that caliber. Well, what does sensei do? They asked again. Well, the lightning armor makes someone incredibly fast and increases their strength, but I have no idea what this version Naruto has made can do. Kakashi, teach me that, Sasuke said, joining in the conversation. Well, I can't because I don't know how to do it myself, and even if I did I wouldn't, cause I don't know if you have a high enough fire affinity. Make him teach it to me, Sasuke said, demanding his sensei. Sasuke, I can't make him teach you, just ask him yourself, but I highly doubt he would say yes. The council will hear of this, the Uchiha plotted in his mind of how to get that power. Arena. Kiba just looked at Naruto's blazing hand in shock, amazement and so much more. The scene stopped as Naruto bolted towards the Inuzuka, fist cocked back. The fist hit Kiba, sending him flying towards the arena walls. As Kiba hit the wall it made multiple cracks along the wall, as Kiba's body was imprinted where he impacted the wall. He got off the wall and coughed up blood onto his hand, shocking the audience at the sheer force of the punch. An imprint of a fist was also present on Kiba's chest that could be seen through his burnt shirt. Damn, I didn't think it would rough him up that much, we need him for the invasion. Naruto thought sadly that he hurt a friend. Kiba locked onto Naruto, whose arms started going back to normal. Ha, if you can't even keep up that jutsu for more than a minute, might as well not use it. Naruto ignored Inuzuka's taunts and made his favorite hand sign. Multiple shadow clones. In an instant the entire arena was filled with smoke. As the smoke dissipated it revealed nearly 500 Naruto standing amongst 2 Kiba. The original was on his knees as he had to create a lot of clones earlier, so he was slightly tired and just wanted to rest up for the invasion. Charge him. The original shouted. 400 clones charged the Kibas, while the original just sat in a corner, while 100 clones protected him. The Kibas put up a good fight, but overall they lost. One Kiba was changed into Akamaru and was now pinned by 10 clones, while the original was pinned by 50 clones. Proctor, call the match, the clones shouted in unison. Winner. Naruto Uzumaki. Gemma shouted to all the civilians who were in utter shock at the demon brat who summoned 1,000 clones. Naruto, who didn't expect much, just started walking towards the contestant stands. Out of nowhere a sudden clap was heard. That one clap turned to 2 to 4 to dozens. All until the entire stadium erupted in applause for the blonde who started running around the stadium as he finally got noticed in his eyes. Gemma had to forcefully grab him to the contestant stand to stop his running. Will Kankuro Sabaku and Gaara Sabaku come here, Gemma shouted from the arena. Proctor, I forfeit. Kankuro shouted back, which got the audience to start booing at him. Alright, winner Gaara Sabaku, will Temari Sabaku and Shino Aburam come here, Gemma said, hoping no one forfeited this time. Both contestants arrived at the arena and got to their battle stances. As Gemma started the match both fighters backed away from each other, both being long-range fighters. Shino started sending his bugs at Temari, who swung her fan in return. Surprising the blonde, the bugs just went at her again after a knockback. The bugs just kept coming at her, so she just stopped swinging her fan and leapt over the bugs towards Shino. She was now attacking Shino and Taijutsu, and she hadn't made any progress. She was losing her momentum and Shino was taking over the fight. His bugs came at her from all directions, making her more on the defensive when she didn't want to be. Shino suddenly jumped at Temari kunai in hand. The sounds of metal clashing were heard throughout the arena. Temari was actually losing against Shino in strength. "You're wondering why I'm beating you in strength now, right?" Abiram asked rhetorically. "Well, it's because my bugs drain your chakra and slowly but surely my bugs attached themselves to you and drained your chakra." Shino then pinned Temari against the stadium wall with a kunai to her neck. Naruto in the contestant stands was being restrained by Shikamaru, who was using Shadow Strangle to stop him from going down there and beating up Shino. "Freaking blondes," Shika thought as he stopped Naruto. "Why am I so angry?" the blonde wondered. At the moment all he knew was he wanted Shino off Temari. "Winner." Shino Abiram Gemma said as Shino got off Temari. "Sorry for getting close," Abiram said as he walked off. "Now, everyone, we will have a 10-minute break to get ready for the second round, so just get ready," Genma shouted. In the stands a certain Anbu was making hand seals under his cloak. "Begin the operation," he thought. Suddenly all around the stadium shinobi and civilians were dropping unconscious. Thanks for listening. I do hope you enjoy it. If you want the next part of this video, turn on that bell notification. Like, subscribe and comment down below. And also check out the others videos I have created and enjoyed it. See you guys next video.